Okay. We ready? Everybody's ready? Because we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to TBD&D. It's been a few weeks. After stumbling across a seemingly forgotten underground civilization of the Earth Genasi, hundreds of years ago, after being put into slavery by Gordanski and eventually teaming up with all the other Genasi tribes, they all fled to various corners of Ezerun, and the Earth Genasi went right here in a forest just a couple hundred miles away from Gordanski itself. The only reason you found this civilization is because of Ersa, kind of being guided by the blood inside her veins. It led you to the opening of this city. Going inside, seeing the magnificent halls, massive caverns full of these beautifully stone-crafted buildings. Hundreds of thousands of people thrive down here. They have their own crops that they're able to grow underground, various smithing tools, every amount of commerce you can think of. And meeting with the king, he explained how his people, very old and proud in their history, during their times of deep oppression, several prophecies were foretold to them by the Fates when they were still alive. The Fates explained how there would be a time where their people would need to rise up, become unified, and aid Ezerun itself in a fight. Now, this fight isn't necessarily told. Prophecies in and of themselves are very vague, probably do pretty intentionally so that, you know, they kind of always come true, depending on the perspective. But they did give details that seem to line up pretty firmly with your party. The details of this prophecy include a blind goblin and a plane-shifting, hidden Genasi girl. Pretty much sums up Eyes and Ersa. Now, all of you guys have experienced turns of fate, strange coincidences leading you to this very point. And after leaving, or before leaving this civilization, knowing that you need to hurry to Gordanski, because the more you stay here, the more you threaten these Genasi, because Tyr is always watching, at least you believe he is. The king, however, before you all departed, he gave you his word that if push comes to shove and you need him and his people's help with whatever it may be against Gordanski, then they would be there for you. Leaving these beautiful people's homes and city, stepping back out onto the somewhat humid, kind of rainy forest around you, the massive pine trees, the swaying and kind of colored leaves of various different trees. You then kind of, sorry, again, I need to script these. Getting back to your house, kind of discussing and contemplating what just happened. I'm struggling to remember. Saloon made an appearance, spoke to Atticus about a few things, as well as kind of asking Atticus more questions about Odie. Atticus, you definitely got the gist that Saloon is somewhat interested in Odie, at least wanting to cultivate a friendship. And of course, that little bit of honesty between the two of you unfolded later on, where Saloon, in a very awkward and informal manner, may have asked you, Odie, on sort of a date. You're not sure yet, but it could be. You're very excited and also beyond nervous. Unfortunately, before any more conversation could take hold between you two, Gwyn, I believe you discovered large footprints in the forest while trying to hunt for game. Until eventually, all of you learned that there was a hill giant A hill giant which should not be here. Now keep in mind, giants, this is very common knowledge, have basically disappeared. People believe that they live far away up in the floating mountains, somewhat north of Solongar. But either way, they should not be here. This hill giant raided this small village full of maybe a dozen or so buildings, very few amount of people. These are simple farmers and traders. Of course, you guys came to the rescue and fought off this hill giant. Atticus basically single-handedly defeated.
Gwen got a few really good hits in too.
Gwen got a few good hits in as well. But luckily this hill giant was defeated, and although he did a lot of damage destroying a couple of these buildings, you were able to rescue and heal, even bring back to life with the help of Saloon, every single last one of these villagers. Without you, this whole village probably would have been destroyed and everyone inside of it would be in the ground. That is where we will pick right up. It is, I forget the time of day it would be.
It was nighttime.
It was nighttime. As the smoke kind of clears from this village, again, it's dark at night, all the townsfolk kind of gather up around you and kind of, many of them kneel, grab your hands, sort of exclaiming with so much gratitude that you saved them, you saved their village. You even saw somewhat a change of heart. Now, maybe this is you just looking too much into things, but a couple of you start to see a couple of the villagers approaching the select few that have not been treated well in these lands. Even you, Eyes, in what you view as a monstrous appearance, you see this little girl kind of approach you. This little girl approaches you, Eyes, and you see kind of hesitancy at first, but then she kind of brightens up a little bit, looks to Ersa, looks to you, and she kind of walks up to both of you, and she just goes, thank you.
You're welcome.
You see she kind of opens her hand and out reaches this small little doorknob, this little trinket, and she kind of...
Is that for us?
Yeah.
Insight check. How does she know her? So collects doorknobs.
Yeah, my father made it a while ago.
Oh,
You saved him today, so this is yours.
it's lovely.
She kind of passes it to you. She kind of waddles off. All the townsfolk take their turns to tell you how happy they are that you saved their lives. It is late at night, however. People are tired, and what are you guys doing?
Does it look like people have places to stay all right? Like, those whose houses got destroyed, does it look like they have people that can...
Yes,
stay
two
with?
of the buildings were pretty badly destroyed, but this village is very tight-knit. Everyone kind of gathers together and arranges sleeping. They record... It's been 3 weeks. I haven't DM'd. They get beds for everyone that needs them and food. One of the men, the man that actually was his daughter, was stuck underneath a beam that I believe Savrin, you helped him. He kind of approaches you, Savrin. He goes, I do not know how to repay this debt.
There's no problem, really. We just don't want to see people hurt.
Might I ask where you people are from?
I mean, some fools banded together to try and make right what we can.
Fools, I wouldn't say that. You saved us. Thank you.
Thank you.
He kind of wanders off.
mean, after I circle back to the house to make sure this wasn't a whole setup, is our house still there?
Yes,
Okay,
your house is very much
I
still
circle
there.
back to the town on Samson.
Healing when you
See-
get back.
Oh, I'm chilling now with the level up. I'm good. Seeing that most of the publicity is going to our less common folks, I hop off Samson and walk up to the runic stone the hill giant was carrying. Can I roll an arcana check to try to identify
Yes, please.
where this is from? If it's giant magic, if it's tier magic. I don't know if that's a thing, but clerical magic coming from tier, I don't know. Natural 20. Plus 7.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow.
First of all, before you even touch the arcane runes, this is a fine stone. And with your background, you know exactly the stone this is.
Stone cutting baby. Best dwarvish and racial trait ever.
Now, this type of rock, it's actually a type of granite. It's very, very sturdy. It's very kind of granular, almost like a petrified sand type texture. Very, very rough to the touch, but this rock does not come from anywhere near where you are right now. Because you rolled so well, I will tell you the exact kind of region that it would come from.
Maps.
This, I know I need to print you guys more. I've been meaning to. This comes from Trokith. This is the continent south, directly south of Ikvale. Trokith is home to Pryfall, the most religious city. It's kind of the home of all religion in Ezerun. The runes themselves, this magic, because you rolled so well, this isn't a magic that you would recognize right off the bat, but looking at it, it definitely appears to be giant in nature. This is a magic that most common folk don't utilize because all of these runes are written in kind of giant tongue. Now, you don't speak giant, but you recognize some of these runes from books of old giant texts and a lot of the myths that revolve around them. So a giant absolutely was responsible for enchanting this stone. Now, as to why, you're not sure.
Okay. I think I call over Irsa and Eyes. Do you have the spell that where you can like read all the languages? I know there's something along those lines.
I've got it, yeah.
Okay. I look to I kind of try to lock eyes with everybody else in the party and ask like, are y'all good? Good. Honestly, actually, Gwyn, you might be better at this as well. Well, I guess you're good at nature. You two are good at nature, yes? Tracking?
That's probably more Gwen than me, but
Okay.
I can help.
Spend more time out
Well,
than in.
I'll go to Samson. Samson, are you going to be nice? I will take that as a yes. You three, track those footprints. This stone is from Pryfall, thousands of miles south of here. So I'm thinking maybe portal weird stuff is going on. So you, Gwyn, you track. Ersa, maybe portal. I mean, that's where my mind leads, so feel free to throw in any ideas. And if you want to get a read on what this actually says, I just know it's giant magic and the stone is from Pryfall.
I think that's a good idea.
You got it.
So, you two be safe. Do you want to help me try to further understand this stone?
I'll need Ursa with me for a bit, but
Oh, yes. So after that, do you two want to take Samson and try to find where those tracks are and see if he just appeared here? Or, I don't know, if there's no evidence of portal magic. Maybe he got airdrops from an airship or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
I'm just
yeah.
imagining what it would look like for a hill giant to be dropped
At an airship. Sorry. It was.
Almost like a juggernaut. Just boom. Anyway.
That's kind of cool.
Anyway, let's get to work. And then it is late, so I do want to get to bed here pretty soon.
Can I use survival to track the giant? Okay.
Oh, one last thing. I'll sidebar with Saloon real quick if she's still here.
Yeah, she's still here.
Everybody's gonna be busy for a bit. If you and Nodi want to go back to the house, he cooked some mean stew.
Wait, right now?
Yeah, why not? Before we all go to bed.
Well, this seems very sudden,
I mean, you did ask him on a date suddenly, so suddenly go on the date.
Well, I was thinking we could do it,
Odie!
What?
Huh?
You hungry?
Usually.
Do you want to cook for Saloon? I hear she's a little hungry too, and you guys can go hang out at the house while, we all do a couple things here.
Oh, if you want.
I lean over to Saloon, go get him, Tiger. And I'll pat her on the back, and then get back to eyes.
She kind of, yeah, I could eat.
Okay. Well, what do you want?
I don't know. What can you make?
I make a pretty mean risotto.
Great.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Risotto?
Yep.
And I don't know.
I know what risotto is.
And you start wandering back the mile and a half back to
Kind of just
the house.
slap Atticus's
Awkwardly.
I'm just chuckling to myself.
Are they talking or are they not talking?
What do you mean?
Are they awkwardly making conversation or are they
So
quiet?
you guys,
To you.
But
yeah,
just
Saloon kind of, you guys are walking, and I should change the background to a more dark forest.
And then while Az is working with Ursa, I'll go see if Sav needs any help medically with anyone, any last little bits.
I think everyone's mostly going back to houses. I tried to make sure people were, everyone has places to sleep or people they can stay with, so should be covered there. But
I'm curious where this fucker came from. I'm hoping
me too.
Gwen and Ursa turn something up.
Because they're not from around here, right?
The hill giant? Definitely not. The stone? From, like I was telling them, from Prodigal, that religious capital down south, and
Yeah, that's really far away from here.
a hill giant definitely enchanted that rock.
Wow.
Or not specifically a hill giant, but a giant.
Looking at the giant itself, it is a hill giant, correct?
Mm-hmm.
From everything I can
Yep,
tell.
this is definitely a hill giant.
I will cast Comprehend Languages on the giant runes.
Okay. Now these runes, obviously, they are not written to be read as a book or a poem. These
Just as a
are,
general meaning,
yes, these are arcane words. All of these words unified together spell out empowerment, quickness, dexterity, strength, armor, all words that definitely summed up what this did to the hill giant. It gave it its strength back, put it back into the field after getting seriously injured.
All right. And I think I'll also cast Arcane Footprint on the stone itself to see if I can get a glimpse of who enchanted it.
Will you make a what's the Arcana check? It's been so long.
Oh, baby. A triple.
3?
That's my Arcana. No. It's really good, but I can't remember because I got a new feat and now it's even higher than it was before.
Nice.
A million, a gajillion, 30 plus.
Damn.
This stone was enchanted very, very long ago. So long ago that the remnants of the caster has slipped away. Remind me of what you got again?
Let me get you the exact number real quick.
Oh, and then back at the house, Teak, I need your help with something as well. A little bit of identification.
Oh, sounds interesting. Can't wait.
They're gonna have 6.
You get.
That's 19 plus 13.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
32.
Although this stone was enchanted so far long ago, you do catch sort of remnants of the caster. This caster was large, definitely a giant. You almost like smell its breath, and it smells. It has the exact smell of when kind of like static electricity, like of lightning right before it strikes.
Storm giant!
What's that called?
Like ozone.
Ozone, yeah.
Yeah, it smells like that.
Printer smell.
That's what it is.
Okay. After kind of utilizing Ersa's sight for a moment, Ersa, you and Gwyn then kind of go off to track where this creature went. What did you get for survival?
15.
15. You follow these very, very large steps, incredibly easy to follow. Even with a 15, I mean, they're massive. Until eventually the trail just stops. Atticus's hunch must have been correct. It must have been teleported here. Now, you do have to walk a couple miles, like deeper into the woods to
Past the house and stuff.
like far past the house, deep into the woods. There's nothing around you, no particular landmarks that catch your eye. The steps just begin and they start walking.
Can I use my amulet and use my detect portal ability to see if there's any remnant of planar energy?
Ooh. Given who you are, I will say yes. You detect, there's not a portal here, but you do detect that this spell that transported this creature happened fairly recently. Now, what recently means, you're not sure, but you can still see kind of wrigglings of these sort of arcane tears in the area.
Can I tell how old the footprints that like he landed here with are? Like how dry the mud is, if there's been things that have fallen in, kind of.
From what you know, it hasn't rained in at least a week.
Okay.
So these footprints are fairly uniform across the entire length of its journey. But with your expert in tracking, I'd say it's only been a day or two since this happened.
Okay.
I think because I don't need sight to do it, I think I'm going to cast Speak with Dead
Okay.
on the giant.
Okay.
I'll hang out as well and keep a watchful eye for anyone.
I'll just gather
Find
the
any
energy
onlookers.
and kind of reach out
you-
and touch his jaw.
You approach the cut in half hill giant. The kind of upper part of its neck down to sort of the bottom of its rib cage. You kind of approach, cast the spell. You see the body.
Sorry to wake you. Why were you here?
You speak giant.
Might need to cast another spell real quick.
Does this spell, do you have to know the language? I thought.
Let me pull it up. I should know this, sorry.
Wizard.
Wizard.
What level spell is it? Thanks.
Ashley, do you know? You're a wizard, right?
I want to mention a song by Louis Zong called "I'm a Very Good Wizard," and that's how Odie is. He's a very good wizard, and you should listen to that song because it's really good.
Okay, I found the answer. You have to know its tongue. It can only respond to
Corpse
you.
knows only what to do in life, including the languages it
Yep.
didn't know common.
No.
It didn't know common?
These are an isolated creature.
Well, from what I remember in our last campaign, when we talked to the giants in our
been
last
300 years.
campaign,
Storm giants are probably also a little bit smarter than hill giants.
Yeah.
and so the hill giants could talk common too.
I don't think
I
they
remember
did.
they did.
That
By
was when the
any
hill
off-
giants lived on the
Those are
ground.
By any off chance, is there like a Goliath resident around that would know giant?
Mm-mm. I mean,
It's cool,
this is just
it's
all human.
I know.
One second.
Gordanski.
One second. Eyes would be smarter than this. Can I say that I cast?
Yes. You would have known.
Alright.
Yes. Okay. So you're now speaking his language,
Yeah.
and you can also understand him. Why did you come here? Was the question.
Mm-hmm.
He responds with duty.
Lillian's trying to swallow that right now.
That's gross.
Trying to swallow duty. Ew.
You guys could get to Gordanski today, but that's up to you.
Okay. Okay. What exactly was your duty?
Stir chaos.
Who sent you?
My king.
You could ask, just in I's ear. You could ask, where they came from, because that would answer kind of who the king is. Because if it's from that desert continent.
I'm assuming it's the king of the storm giants.
Well, yeah, but is the storm giant king in Pryfall where the stone was from, or are they from the what's the name of the desert continent? Because didn't giants settle over there as well, right? Might be from there.
Crowsooth.
Huh?
Crowsooth.
Crowsooth.
What does your king have against a small village in Gordanski territory? Against?
He would answer fairly quickly. I'm just trying to find the right words.
Brandon is hidden.
Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon.
Terrifying.
He goes.
Light random.
To cause instability.
Maybe the giants are on our side too.
And imbalance.
Why?
That's the last question.
Ooh. You're not there. Let Atticus's dumbass help.
Describe your king to me.
Wait.
Exactly what he looks like.
Slender for size. Lightning and thunder follow.
Is that it? All right, that's the 5th question, so
Okay.
I let him rest.
Okay. Odie, you kind of walk back. Do you say? Do you let her speak first, or do you speak
I
first?
don't think there'd be any consequences for this.
You wanted to date the moon. Here you are.
Canonically, he is pretty good at it, but I'm not. I mean,
Gordy famously has so much riz, he is never awkward.
He's
a
never
wizard.
awkward. He's a wizard. He would probably just ask, like, because, like, I don't think he knows much about her. So you've been a god long?
Not long for me, for us. How do I... Okay, here's the story, so you have a relative time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She kind of looks up to the moons in the sky, the paler white and then the bluish one, kind of side by side, one smaller than the other. She goes, so, how do I... These two moons, they didn't always used to be here, right? And now the blue one came back 300 or so years ago. That's when I became Saloon, right? My mother, well, she's actually Saloon, you know. That's her name. And she kind of passed that to me.
What was your name before?
Saloon Junior.
I haven't really told anyone this, not even Atticus.
You don't have to.
No, I have nothing against it. My name is Cersei.
Cersei. It's really nice.
Saloon is the title, not the name. Well, it was my mother's. It's a title now, I suppose. Anyway, when my mom became Saloon, a long, long time ago, right after the old gods all died, the old gods is in, remember the war between, and all the gods were involved. She goes, how do I put this? She met someone, fell in love, you know how that story goes. This person that she fell in love with was not a god. My dad. I never met him. She kind of looks up to the moon and she goes, my mom fell in love and she had my sister before she had me. And a lot of time passed and then eventually she had me. And a lot of time obviously takes a toll on my mortal father, and so he dies, and as an act of love, my mom, and at this time she was powerful, but she wasn't like the moon goddess. Moons didn't exist yet. But after my father's passing, she took his soul and made him the moon. So the big white one up there is kind of my dad, I guess you can say. If you look, when it's full like this, you can almost like see a smile with a little dimple. I don't know if that's an actual smile, but I'd like to imagine it is. He died shortly after I was born. I was too young to remember him. I don't really even know what he looks like, except for the moon. So me and my sister grew up, and my mom, she was very adamant that we not grow up as gods because it leads to problems, at least in her experience. So she raised us like mortals here. I grew up on the sea mostly, where the stars are the brightest. And life was good, and then my sister died. I'm still not sure how she died, but she did. I was still very young. And so then she put her in the sky. And that really hurt my mom. It was just me and her. And then something happened and she lost her little one, her daughter. And she thought she would never get her back. But she did. 300 years ago, she did. My mom didn't even know what took her, but someone stole her from the sky. And then when she came back, my mom didn't seem herself. She would look up at the sky, and I could tell she wanted to be there too. She felt so distant. And so then she approached me one day and she said, Cersei, it's about time you take up the mantle and become Saloon, right? Because she was tired. She lived a long time. Probably too long. So you see those sort of asteroid belts that kind of always sort of form a kind of circular shape around both the moons, kind of tying them together.
Yes, I'm familiar.
She fragmented herself so that she could always hug onto them. And she made sure that when it was my turn to join her, that I could do the same. I think that's maybe why I feel so interested in you, because we're very different, but we both grew up mortal, even though we're not.
Well, I haven't really been able to tell yet.
Yeah. It's a long life. And some days that's a great thing, but other days it's not.
I'm sure.
But you can't really go back on it.
Does it, more days than not, does it feel worth it to you?
Things like today, where I could use what my mother taught me to help people directly, that feels really good. But then I go to where all the gods reside, and I kind of just feel like I don't belong, There are a lot of gods. And I know that your friends are so shocked that you've met so many. But there are so many more you haven't.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal to them, and it's a big deal to me. We've 99.9% of mortals never meet one.
Do you know a lie that the gods tell mortals?
What?
My mother didn't even tell me about this until she made me this. When a mortal dies, you don't get taken to some specific place. Mm-hmm. All the gods, they dwell over various realms, and they always tell their followers that when they die, as long as they're good and loyal, they will come to their realm, the best realm. Strangely enough, it's way more beautiful than that. When someone dies, they have a choice. They can go anywhere they want. Sometimes a mortal is bound to a specific place, but for the most part, you're kind of just free. You can make one of two choices. You can go anywhere, do anything you want in these other realms, start a new life. Or you can choose to not. Just stop. fade away into nothing, cease to exist, no more feeling. If people knew that that was an option, that you had a choice, I think a lot of the gods would not be as popular, you know?
Maybe that's something that could be useful. I think that.
Sorry?
No, I just think that the people should know.
Do you want to be a god?
I don't know. In all honesty, to me, what made it more worth it to be here was the fact that I wouldn't be one day.
I think that's why my mom raised me and my sister to be mortal, because you can't have a perspective on anything if you know that what you're given will just last forever. I think oftentimes the gods take life for granted.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
I think you'd make a good god.
Thank you. I don't know what to say to that, but thank you. All I know is that it would probably take me a while to figure it out, and
Hey, I'm still figuring it out.
well, I'd have a good guidebook on what to do, and I'd have a guidebook on what not to do. So, what's so wrong with that? I suppose.
Do you think that gods should even be a thing? Yeah.
I hate to say I don't know again, but
I don't either. You know, one of the biggest things that I admire about someone is when they can make something out of very little. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm very hungry. We should probably just get some food.
well, we can eat, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I admire you guys. You, Atticus. Yeah. I feel like any one of you would be a better god than a lot of us.
I think that would mean a lot to them. I think you should say that to them. Quite frankly, I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway,
What do you mean here? Like, with them?
Sort of just, I feel that whenever they go in, there's things that they do and they control it, and they're able to make a situation work out usually, and I don't really know how to do that.
It doesn't help that your godhood lineage is a tad more complicated than mine. I think things will get better. Like I said, there's a lot of time. Even for mortals. It just depends on how you look at it, you know? Make the best of every situation, I guess. And you know what? You also shouldn't feel obligated to your dad. Because if he's hurt you very much. I've seen it. I've wanted to say something to him, to you, but that's not my place. These people that you have, your dad may be blood, but I feel like you could learn and be connected to just as much with them as you can with someone that you're actually, related to. Do you still have a mom?
Well, I think so. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. After
Do you want to?
Yeah. But I don't know what I would say.
You don't have to say anything. You can look. You have the potential to do way more than you could ever dream of being able to accomplish. Sometimes magic is unpredictable, but if you can focus on something, sometimes I focus on people that I love, that I care about. And you don't have to say anything to them. But you're a god, in a sense. I feel like if you want to get a message to your mom without any words, I think you have that power in you.
How would I do that?
I always close my eyes and I try and think about the person that I love and an item or something that is significance that they would associate with you. Mm-hmm. And I just think and I think. And I feel like that it translates. I don't know how it works, but like a flower sprouting on their path to the market that they see and they think of you. Little things. I know that doesn't make sense. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not making much sense at all.
No, I think in the gods are kind of a roundabout thing, and I think in a roundabout way it does.
Who's your favorite person in the group?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Let's try it right now.
But if I think of it, will they know? Because I don't think that's how it works. Just okay.
Who's your favorite person? Or like who's the hottest? I don't know.
They're
Teak, obviously.
Just pick someone. Just pick someone to focus on. See if you can do it and control what you have. Right.
Okay.
I find focusing on someone you like helps kind of control things a little bit. Keeps you focused.
Okay.
You got it? Who is it? You don't have to tell me, but I kind of want to know. You got it.
It's you.
Wizard.
You can't do that. That doesn't count. Well, that doesn't count because I'm right here. But the test is they're far away. We're like, can you sprout a flower in front of them?
Okay.
And
to step outside.
And you know we or I could go to a different room. You okay?
Why is there a flower sprouting?
I'll go to a different room.
Go to Atticus's room.
Okay, I'll go to Agnes's room. You hear her shut the door. Okay, I'm here. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Pretty sure my room is downstairs.
Make a Arcana check for me.
Please
I'm
don't
so
blow up our
nervous.
house.
I'm so scared. Ooh, okay, that's not very good.
Oh.
I might blow up our house.
Oh.
It's okay.
Use the power
no,
of Riz to re-roll.
Use an inspiration. You have so
No,
many.
I
This
don't
is
want
so
to use
important.
You have to
This
use
is
them.
so important,
Right,
actually.
you have to use them before the roll.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
There's actually
That would be like a 12.
Okay.
Not bad.
When you think of Saloon, what specific object? Because she told you to think about an object. What specific object do you associate with her?
There was. Describe her clothes to me again. I know they stood out to me the first time I was getting.
So they are. It's kind of like a black, almost. It's not sequenced, but it almost like kind of reflects the light a little bit, almost like stardust, and kind of it looks like kind of constellations. It's got like this kind of coat. It's very, very beautiful.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm thinking of the sequence since because when he first saw it, it always reminded him of like the stars and stuff.
Okay. You kind of think really hard. You kind of picture her in your head, and a couple seconds pass. You don't really feel anything, but you hear in the other room, what the heck? What is going on? What is going on?
I stopped thinking about it.
You run into the room, and you see she is covered from head to toe in glitter.
Yeah.
The finest of glitter.
Yeah.
She goes,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
she kind of frizzes her hair, and it kind of,
No, it's gonna get in my bed.
Yo, pile of glitter in your room.
Burning my room.
she kind of like does this with her clothes, and some of it like seeps, falls
I'm
on
so
the ground.
sorry.
You just did your first little godly act. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I hope I can do that again. I don't really know what I did, but
This is never coming out, but I'm glad because this is awesome.
I'm so sorry. We can get you something.
Oh
new
no!
and-
This is great. It did summon right above my head though.
Oh, awesome.
Do it to people you hate now.
Okay. Now I was really close. I don't know if proximity works or if it is affected by that, but let's pick someone else. Let's pick someone else.
Okay.
You got him? You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Who are you doing?
Gwen.
Ooh. Okay. Good choice. Roll an Arcana check.
Glitter bomb.
Pushed up your glasses.
That's so much better. That's like a 21.
21. You focus on Gwyn, the beautiful pink hair. Gwyn, as you and Ersa are coming back from tracking the giant, you feel almost a sudden kind of weight in your pockets. You kind of reach in, and you just stick your hand into a pocket full of glitter. It was not there before.
Samson
You
is
don't
gonna
know
get
where it
so
came
glittery.
Anderson? Yeah. Did we run into any glitter today?
Not that I can remember.
I will do it to everyone else.
Guess what?
What?
Okay.
Where does it,
I throw it at Anderson.
You guys.
where does it appear for all of us? I wanna know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personalize it.
On eyes, it's like makeup.
You just all of a sudden feel a little crusty.
You fill her empty eye sockets.
It's just like a little bit of makeup, and it's just like on her cheeks.
And you can't see it until Ursa gets
It's like itching,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of like rubbing it all
Yeah,
over.
it's okay.
But you don't know what it is, yeah.
Am I just watching Eyes do this to herself?
Yeah, you just see there's like specks of glitter on her face all of a sudden.
It's in one of Atticus's potion bottles.
Okay.
Just a random potion. It's so glittery.
Okay. Okay.
It's edible. It's like edible glitter.
No,
No. Okay.
that fortune's.
you're gonna be. You can eat it and you'll be okay.
You know what,
But you're gonna have sparkly
One-
dumps for a little bit.
One moment. Let's see here. I
For
have.
Severin, it's probably all around the brim of her hat.
Okay, you guys are just walking. Savrin, you take a little step
a
and glitter
D12.
just.
Okay.
All of a sudden glitter. It's
Yeah.
like- I'm like, oh,
I don't know where D12 is.
more glitter
What
keeps
about
coming
Ursa?
down.
It'll probably be hard to tell
That's
because I
a
threw glitter all over
forget.
her, so.
Roll that
I
for
already
me.
got glitter.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And then
so it's in one of the superior healing potions.
You know, I'm not
Great.
mad about it.
That's good. I was holding you.
Fortika just fills your bag.
Tattoos.
The bag of holding. Okay.
He probably has so many like fine pieces of equipment that you just ruined.
That's a pocket dimension. Does it work like that? Can it go through pocket dimensions?
We don't know until T goes to open his bag of holding.
So you'll find it later. And for Ursula, it's just all over your hands.
The glow from your tattoos kind of seeps through them, and it kind of like has a
Disco
disco
ball.
effect.
Disco ball hands.
I put on Gwen's face.
Saloon goes. I mean, obviously we won't know it works until they get back.
I mean, but it'll be a pretty clear sign when they get back, I think.
Yeah. Let's pretend that we have no idea what's going.
We don't know what it is.
I'm covered in glitter. Let's get you covered in glitter, and then let's act like some outside force
Yes.
did this, and then it'll cause havoc within the group,
Oh, no.
and people will be freaking out
Oh,
as to
God.
what entity
Okay.
covered everyone in glitter.
Yeah, we can do that.
Wait, how?
Let's
how
get it
is-
over everyone's room too.
Except for one, but whose? We have to sow a little bit of discord in there
Oh, we
as well.
blame it on someone.
Yeah.
Who?
Gwen.
That was fast.
It's going in everyone's room except for Gwen's.
Wait, but okay,
They'll think it's my dad. And then everybody will be really mad at him, and I think that's really funny.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. Wait, could you do it to your dad?
Let's give it a fucking try.
Maybe he's having sex with
In the condom.
Hey, for the sake of his
Doesn't use a
partner.
condom.
Except for
safe.
with me.
You're gonna think
So
about.
when Cohen's with you, you
No, except for when I was
for when
born.
you were born. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Just thought
I think you should
I'd
turn Cohen's comment to glitter.
Stop. Okay, stop.
Just like in his pants.
Yeah.
Balls in his underwear.
Disco balls. I'm gonna put glitter all over
Okay,
his balls.
you focus on your father, and
Maybe I don't focus specifically.
yeah, not specifically, but yeah.
But
In his underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You see Saloon, and you kind of walk through all of the rooms, and she kind of shakes off some of the glitter in every single one of the beds in the rooms, except for Gwyn's.
Yeah.
My God,
then-
aesthetic.
And then once that's all done,
black
Saloon's like, is there anything else we could do?
Oh. Well, I guess we could put like. Do we have like a bottle or something? We could.
She
fill-
starts rummaging through the cabinets in the
fill
kitchen.
one of the bottles with the glitter, and then just
Okay.
leave it like in the corner in the closet.
Ooh, in Gwen's room?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, focus on this jar.
Okay.
Glitter in the jar. Ooh.
What color is the glitter? I don't
It is silver. It's silver.
You can
Yeah.
make like
Yeah.
glitter grenades and throw them at people.
100%.
I cast a
You
summon
kind
glitter.
of put the thing of glitter into Gwen's closet, and Saloon goes, "Okay, are you a good liar?"
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Yes.
I am also a good liar.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. We're gonna be so good at this. I can't wait till everyone gets home. Should we make dinner like we were going to?
Yeah, let's act normal,
okay.
let's act normal. You start making food. Are you guys eventually all heading back? Mm-hmm. Okay. You all kind of meet each other in the woods and all kind of realize that you're all kind of covered in glitter.
Or she's like active, like putting it in her hair.
Is that?
It's just in a random potion bottle.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got glitter too.
do we all have glitter?
It just showed up in my pockets. I threw it there, so.
But look at my tattoos now.
Sam is like desperately trying to bat off of her hat.
Testing it.
Like, yeah.
Oh, Sav, that.
Smacking the rims. Like,
Oh, you know what? You know what? I think I have something in my bag that might help get this off. You know.
do you please? That would help a lot.
Teeth, you reach into your bag and glitter just starts projectile vomiting from it shoots at such velocity that it coats up all of the trees around you and kind of showers down upon you.
Oh.
Never mind.
What's happening?
Oh.
You and Saloon just hear distant screams.
I look in my bag. My notes. I'm like,
What if it's in you? What if it's like up your ass?
I don't feel
Are your
anything.
potions okay?
I look at all the potions and then I pull out a superior healing.
Oh.
It looks kind of pretty. Although it's ruined
Gonna
now.
have some texture going down.
Like swallowing sand.
You kind of approach the house. You smell like amazing food coming from inside. You kind of step in, dusting off as much glitter as you can. Saloon kind of turns. Oh, wow. What happened here? Oh,
The saloon.
was there a glitter monster you fought?
Yeah, you look like you lost the fight, so.
Gwen threw glitter at me.
Oh, so there was a glitter monster. It was Quinn.
Gwen did it? Gwen, did you do this?
Well, I threw glitter there, so after it showed up in my
I mean,
pockets.
you guys were nowhere near us when it was on my hat.
I'm gonna do a general.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just ready to go set my bag down, and she starts heading up towards her room.
You step into your room, and just the entire room, ceiling, walls, the bed, everything is coated in glitter.
You hear the thud of a bag and just scream.
Could you please demonstrate for us?
I don't want to peek the mic.
Just we're doing shit like that.
It's like, she runs down the stairs.
Whoa, what's going on?
Glitter
What's
in
going
my
on?
room.
What?
Who put glitter in my room?
That's an 18 for.
Let me roll.
No, it's a 19 actually. Pardon me.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Where is it? That is a unnatural 24.
Saloon rolled really good too. We've been here the whole time. We haven't seen anything.
No, is everything okay?
Yeah, let's check all the rooms. Let's check all the rooms.
Sava's taking this moment to be a drama queen, and she falls to her knees in the stairwell.
I say, like, you're like,
I'll kind of just like pat the top of her hat and then be like, oh.
It does not come off. You each go into all of your rooms, like together, one by one. Every single room is coated in this stuff except for Gwyn's. Gwyn's is the last one you go to.
I feel like we all kind of turn.
Are you the glitter monster?
You lucky.
I'm not the glitter monster. I don't know why it happened.
I mean, this is pretty on brand for you. Your hair is pink and you have butterflies.
When
Glitter
have I
seems.
ever done glitter? When have I ever done glitter?
I mean, I haven't seen you do glitter, but I have
do
seen like
death
your
and rainbows,
patrons
not
do
glitter.
a lot.
You mean your dad? You mean your dad?
No,
Yeah, if there's anyone I know with an affinity for glitter,
his estranged dad.
But
I was
biological.
going to say, I don't think. Listen, we've had a lot of harsh talks recently. I don't think you would do that shit to
why
me.
are you getting so?
I don't think
Fussy.
you would do that to you either, but it is suspicious that you brought up your biological father.
I just know that he's into glitter. I know my dad, and I know his glitter.
Well, like father, like son.
Look, Ollie.
Wait,
Ollie, look me in the eye.
Do I
Yes.
see Saloon's little like smile?
yeah,
Deserves a scene.
yeah.
Can I roll another insight?
No,
know
she's
why?
pretty. You can read it.
Do you know why there is glitter in everyone's room except mine?
No, I couldn't say that I do.
Insight check that.
We were down here cooking.
Saloon.
Oh, okay.
Saloon.
Huh?
Did you know that the human brain? Well, I guess you're not technically human,
What'd
but
you get?
mortal brain, god brain, humanoid brain.
Yeah.
When you lie, you get a little boost of serotonin when you lie, and sometimes that can make
I don't have serotonin.
your smile just
What's serotonin?
I don't know. It's
I don't know what serotonin is.
just the edges of your lips curve into the littlest of smiles.
This is
I
ridiculous.
swear I almost have got it on the
really-
lips of you.
Oh, that's quite a glittery thing.
Why?
Yeah, maybe she did it. She
It
did it.
matches my new doorknob.
Oh, it matches. Oh, it does. Oh, how pretty. Oh, I love that.
so happy
You guys are like very defensive.
I'm not defensive. We're not. We're not
no,
defensive.
we're
We've
not
just been
defensive.
making food.
Yeah.
Where did the glitter appear on you, Odie?
We.
The glitter on me.
Well, yeah, where is the glitter on you?
I don't see any glitter on me. I start like looking through my stuff.
There's
and then
there's a couple remnants of it.
I like I focus on inside my bag, making some more glitter.
You open your bag. There's some.
Oh, look, found it.
Do I make it a little snippet of the arcane?
A little bit, yeah.
Your bug! Your Pokemon!
It's now an encrusted bug. It just crawls out. It kind of coughs out some glitter.
That's
Oh,
part
what did he do
two.
to you? I'm so sorry.
The best part too is that he photosynthesizes, right? So you need to get this off.
I'm gonna go start bathing him.
No, don't put the bug in water. He breathes through his legs.
I'm gonna just.
I'm just
put some water on.
no. I will
It'll be
just.
okay.
I'll do the spell that cleans things up. I can't remember.
All the glitter off of him.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Whew.
I'd like you to know that I'm usually pretty good at like sensing when arcane things happen.
No, yeah.
Mhm.
So how did you not notice when all of this really?
I know
like,
it's
started
really
going down.
crazy. Just now, when your bag filled with
I listen. Listen.
Right when you wanted it to.
I don't know what they're talking about. Do you know that they all sound crazy to me?
We're asking. We're
I'm sorry, are you gaslighting us right now?
No, I don't even know what that is. What's gas?
It was me.
Oh,
It was me.
No,
I did
it
it.
wasn't.
I like stars. They look like stars, and I thought I would pull a prank, and it didn't work. It was me.
Saloon.
oh, please roll low. Oh,
9.
8.
Just barely, baby. That's how the fools scrape by. Right. This is a fun new trick, but I think Saren's
I did it
crying.
again and filled the whole house.
Oh my god!
You guys are swimming in the stuff. It's all over the place. So whoa!
Deep
Yeah, it's like one of those. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Rise of agony.
I'm gonna get glitter lung.
Gwen, can you call Cohen?
No, I don't think I can.
Please, can you? Dad! I think of him when I do the glitter thing.
He into the middle of the room. You see he's standing and
What
waist.
the hell? Why would you do all of this?
Odie. Really?
I've had to change my. This was not me.
No, I know who it was. It was your kid.
No, listen, I don't know why you would do all of this.
Was this
This is
you?
our house. Dad, this is our house.
Colin, get that fucking smile off your face. This is not funny. So proud.
Sam's like makeup.
Look, I don't know
There's like
what
glitter
this
in your
is,
eyes.
but I love it. This reminds me of a time I had an orgy in this glitter-filled room, and glitter was everywhere.
I wish you would stop talking about that.
Did he tell you that story?
Does Odie accidentally cast a night bubble spell?
He goes, you're learning to control it. And you called me Dad. You did.
Get out of here!
No, you did.
Come on! Go!
You invited me here. I would like to stay for supper.
It's my God, 2 in the morning!
I want to go to bed so cold. 2 in the morning.
Can I?
Sam has glitter in her lungs. I'm gonna start prestidigitation Sam's like face.
Can I
Sam,
take a
stop
bedroll and go
squirting, Sam.
outside?
It's everywhere! It's a good thing no one can scry on us. Because then they would see all the glitter.
Oh, this is wonderful. Just wait until you'll be able to, like, turn these people into, like, animals.
Oh
or...
my... Why would
You
I
could
do
turn them
that?
into glitter.
Why would I do that? They're my friends.
You could turn them back.
You glitter bombed us. I mean,
But it was
And this
fun.
is beautiful.
Well, look very nice now, don't you?
I think Sam's choking on glitter.
Well,
Colin,
I
you
think I
get
will
this off of me right now.
guys.
Make it go away.
yeah. Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Wait, hold on. This is not my fault.
No, just give it a shot. And
This is, of course, I.
It is your fault.
Yeah, no, you're the reason I'm here, like, for several...
Do not speak about her mother in that way.
His
A beautiful goat.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Pronouns.
And she was probably wonderful. But now, because you did that, I have glitter all over me and all over my shit. So you're gonna get it all.
Sam is giving Cohen like he's just holding on for dear life.
I'm gonna tell Odie all the embarrassing things I heard when I lived at the castle.
You know, that's pretty interesting.
Cohen literally
actually.
tells us that himself.
Whoever gets it off of me first gets to decide what happens with these stories.
I think about it so hard.
It disappears
Yes.
off of Gwen. Wait, no. Snaps and it's back. No.
I keep taking the glitter
It
off.
just goes back and forth and back and forth.
I'm gonna wait outside.
I've set up my bedroll, and then I quickly take Teak to the downstairs bedroom just to show the little port that I found in Pisspot. It's some sort of like battery
It's full
thing. And yeah, I pretty much just show you that and say that's something you can kind of chew on with your smart artificer stuff. Considering this is an otherworldly robot and we have otherworldly materials, so do with that what you will. Create a battery. Good luck.
Powered, pretty sure. I think you should piss into a
Oh, all of
battery.
you guys are talking about glitter. I sidebarred Teak to just take care of that before I go to
So
bed.
as you keep putting glitter back on me and Odie keeps taking it off of me, I think I'm going to
No,
tell
things
Odie
are
the
happening
story.
so fast. I'm the one taking it off.
You and my dad is
I remove it from the whole room if I can.
So
You
because
remove the
we're on
glitter from the
topic of
entire
glitter-
house.
I remove extra glitter from Sam.
Yeah. Okay.
Odie, because we're on the topic of glitter, I'll tell you a story from the castle about what happened one time with glitter.
Oh, perfect.
So, usually I had my own quarters
no,
down
no.
the hall
No.
from Cohen.
Gwen, I will take your tongue.
I'll give it back to her.
This is not fair.
What do you mean this isn't fair? Somebody's using your own games against
No.
you.
This. Look,
And
when
why not?
I conceived you.
Yes, and then you left me.
This
so.
is. Damn.
One night, I need to use the bathroom.
No,
And
no, not this one, Gwen.
so I walk out of the door, and there's glitter everywhere.
Oh no!
Like it wasn't here.
Get there.
You'll never guess what I saw when I got to the bathroom.
Gwen, stop. Quinn? Quinn.
They look sad. There was a chicken. Oh, feathers everywhere. Oh no. And next to the chicken was just a normal woman. But Colin was covered in glitter head to toe.
This is a bold-faced lie.
Yes, I definitely don't believe Gwen.
And all I heard was
Oh,
and it wasn't from the chicken, it was from Colin. And I ran back to my room.
You are missing very important context with this situation. You see, I was the chicken first, okay?
so what came first, the chicken or the egg?
There were no eggs.
Oh, there were eggs.
What did you do to the eggs? See, I told you it was true.
It's true. Thank you.
Look, no,
You just said there were eggs.
life is very long, and
You're
it is...
into weird, freaky shit.
No, hey, do not kink shame me.
You're allowed to do it whenever you want, but why in the bathroom that we shared? You have your own
You were down the hole.
Cohabitating?
No.
Gwen was down the hole.
Hold on.
He had
You were in a
bathroom, and he did it in the one adjacent to my room.
Look, I have a list of all places and things I want to do, and over my thousands of years I've been trying to...
Teak became omnipotent.
Like Brandon. Brandon.
I just...
There we go.
Sometimes I have to answer questions. Questions that are far beyond the mortal mind.
Questions you have, or I don't know what.
Look, I am all creatures all at the same time. I have
Especially chickens.
every genitalia you can think of.
Why do
And
you need to know that?
I feel like I have every right to, with consensual beings...
You really don't have to explain yourself. You could just,
You could have just done
Sit
it
here
when
and let
I
it be
wasn't
funny.
using the bathroom.
yeah.
Her name was Heather.
You don't need to know about Heather. I don't need to
Nice
know about
feathers.
your chicken friends.
Heather had marvelous feathers.
Oh no! The woman was. Did the woman used to be a chicken?
No, she used to be a woman, but we both turned into chickens.
I don't know how you could ever do that to a person.
She consented.
Bark, bark.
It was her idea.
Is that why you like eggs so much, Quinn?
Is that why I like eggs so much?
I didn't force you to like eggs.
I only started eating so many eggs after I lived at your house.
Whose eggs?
Whose eggs were they?
No.
Your eggs?
I have laid many eggs before, but I don't think I've ever. Oh, hold on, this is getting out of hand here. Look, the glitter is gone. The glitter is gone,
Ice is no longer asking Lillian is.
and I'm very proud of you, son. You did good work today. You, however, I'm not happy with you. You know what? As punishment, to show you that I can do whatever I want, your hair is going to be brown for 24 hours. No pink
No way.
anymore. You see it slowly fade into brown hair. And your butterflies, I'll be keeping them for 24 hours as
really
well.
hard to make it pink and make her she had butterflies and stuff.
You're unable to.
I just
see-
look at Colin
you-
like this.
Nice try, my son. You've got plenty to learn. Be seeing you. And he disappears.
Colin's having his Joker arc.
For 24
more
for
magical
24
girls.
hours, your hair is a dark brown, and you no longer can blurt out butterflies.
I am so sorry, Gwen. I'm so sorry.
Pretty like that. I mean,
I didn't expect it to come to this.
not a bad color.
It's still nice.
Thank you.
And the entire house fills with glitter again.
I'm outside. Yes.
I tried to get rid of all the glitter.
You're able to.
Okay, cool.
Are you guys all heading to bed?
Yes. Not me. I'm going to be keeping watch outside, specifically from the direction of the village.
Okay.
And being as stealthy as possible while
Before
doing
I
so.
do go to bed, I would like to take out the necklace that I got a long time ago that helps me scry on people and focus my energy. And I want to try and scry on the storm giant king that I asked for the description of.
Okay, make an Arcana check for me.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby girl.
There we go.
Come on, baby girl. Not good.
You're not even gonna give me a number.
18.
18.
Not good, my
You got
butt.
incredibly limited details. You are unable to scry on this.
Wait, but if I have something that was in his possession. Oh,
That would increase it, but do you have anything that this giant may
the
have
rock.
possessed?
We didn't drag that
Yeah, we
granite
didn't
rock
drag
back
it,
with
but-
us.
You don't have it on
Could I
you.
go back to
You're
the
gonna
village?
walk
You're gonna walk the 2 miles?
It's 2 miles?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
far away.
At this point, you might have a point of exhaustion trying to get a long rest after this.
That's fair.
You can do
I
it tomorrow.
will try again tomorrow.
Okay.
Is anyone else doing anything tonight?
Go to bed.
Okay, Odie is going to finish up his day with Saloon and
Okay.
send her off. And then after that, he is going to think of his mom.
Okay.
And he's going to try to make one of his little, like, daily journals appear somewhere in the house. Just so that she finds it and she can read about kind of when he was a kid and all those little happy daily things that he would do.
And of course, you don't know if this worked, but you do the exact same thing you just did with all the glitter. You got a lot of practice in just an hour. You're fairly confident that it worked. It gives a little hope, at least, that you're reaching out. As Saloon leaves, she kind of goes, I'm very impressed by you.
Thank you.
And you're very fun to be around.
All the same to you. Thank you. That means a lot.
She kind of takes your hand and kisses it.
Shitting.
She kind of politely lets go, and then we've got a busy days approaching, so I should go. Like I said, I'm working on this lead with the one god I mentioned earlier. I'll see you.
I hope to see you around really soon, and maybe not just for business.
Yeah. She kind of glitters off into the starlight.
And he spends the rest of the night staring at the little moon.
Okay.
Saloon calls Odie baby girl.
Baby girl.
You all sleep soundly, glitter-free, waking up the following morning. The time is yours. It's a beautiful day.
Are you ready to hit the road?
Are we going to be passing through the town again as we continue to Gordanski?
It is on the way.
Okay, I'm gonna, start doing my best to kind of, make little portions of breakfast for people to kind of hand out in the town.
Yes. Okay.
Are we just heading to town?
I would hope so.
All right.
Sav takes so much care to make sure that she and Spectre do not have a single speck of glitter.
Okay. You all travel the couple miles towards the small village. Everyone is up and about in this village. Everyone is gleaming smiles on their faces, happy to see you all. The young girl that gave you the doorknob runs up to both of you. My pop. He has more for you. Lots more. He pulled them aside, special, collected them from the rubble, and we want to give them to you and your group, if that's okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but I wouldn't.
She kind of
refuse the
moves
gift.
like this little hand, like satchel. Can I introduce you to them?
Sure.
Okay. Well, there's a lot. She kind of fiddles around. You hear like metal clacking against one another. A couple of them are magic. Or at least my dad says they are. He told me what they do so that I can explain to you. He's busy helping the orchards over there, the family, rebuild their building over there. So he's really busy, but he told me what to do. I memorized it. Okay? First one. It's a fish. Okay? This fish doorknob, it can turn, and my dad said this quote, it can turn into a 1,500 pound tuna. I don't know what that is, but it does. They say it's really friendly. Next up, we got this one. This one doesn't do anything special, but it's really pretty. It's got a nice weight to it. I don't know how many grams it weighs, but at least a couple. Or it might be easier. Either way. Go. This one, we got this one too. It's also very heavy. This one is gold. It's gold. Like actual gold. So you could use this to buy more doorknobs, or you could buy a pig or something. I don't know what you can buy with gold, but you can do it with this. Okay, this one's one of my favorites.
I'll kind of stop and bite it. Is it real good?
Yeah, it is. This one's one of my favorites. This one is magical, and it kind of looks like a lollipop.
I start to bite it.
This one, you throw it with intent, my dad said. It has to be with intent. Excuse me. A little bit of snot kind of pours from her nose. Intent. You throw this, and it goes boom. Very loud, very bright. And it hurts people's eyeballs. You're immune! Here you go. Here you go.
You now have a flashbang.
Emma, by the way, this is for your birthday. This one doesn't do anything either, but it's made from nice, like this purple kind of marble. It's very nice, very fancy. This one, this was actually on one of our drawers in the kitchen. It was the only one of its kind, and it looked really out of place, and my dad wanted to get rid of it. So here we go. Let's see. Next. This one's really cool. This one is a cow, okay? But it's an actual cow too. It turns into a cow that is your friend also.
I love Emma's expressions.
Okay, this one was on a music chest, an old music chest. And this music chest, it played a really pretty song. And so this one was enchanted to play the song that was on the music chest. You see, she goes like this, taps it, and it starts playing this slow little melody that goes on for a few seconds before it ends.
Do I recognize it?
It's one of the most common, like nursery rhyme sort of songs. Okay. Oh, reach into there's so many. Okay.
There's another one?
There's so many more. We've got this one.
You're gonna need a new box.
We've got this one. This one. Hold on, let me make sure I have my notes.
You wrote notes for me.
Yeah, of course I do.
Somebody has to know what they do.
Okay, this one doesn't do anything, but look, it moves.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's like a door and a doorknob.
I
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. This one, my dad would put on for me when I was a baby. And what it does, it's too bright out here. It has to be in a dark room. But you place it down, and if you look, it kind of looks like the stars, and it glitters just a little bit. That one projects constellations and planets onto the ceiling, so you can look at it when you go to sleep.
Nightlight.
This one, again, it does nothing, but it's made of copper, which is cool. It's slowly turning green a little bit. I don't know why. My dad says that it turns green because it oxidizes.
That sounds right.
I don't know what that means.
So smart.
This one, it's not real diamond, but it looks like it. If it was real diamond, we could buy a whole house. But it's not real diamond. But that one doesn't do anything either. But it looks real pretty. Maybe you could trick someone into thinking it's real diamond, and you could buy a house.
Steal. She is
not
successfully
thievery,
taken
it's
a
And she goes,
rogue.
last but not least, we have the hand. This one's very cool. Come follow me. She walks over to a wall on the side of a house. You see she presses it up against the wall, and you see it fuse into the wall. The hand gets a little bit larger into an actual sized hand. And she goes, someone put your wrist under it. The hand clamps down, and you are completely stuck.
Whoa.
My dad said this is made out of immovable rod, so it can clamp down on someone or something and hold it forever.
Immovable hand.
So cool.
And she
could do so much
she then
torture with
unclamps the hand, it unfuses from the wall and gives it to you.
Your dad knows that you're giving this away.
Yeah. Like I said, he told me what to say and I memorized it.
And he doesn't want any sort of pay.
Well, you saved people.
What's your name?
My name's Erla.
Writing this down.
This is Ursa.
Oh, hi. Our names kind of rhyme. My name's after a little creek that is like a mile away.
Oh, that's nice.
Creek of Earl. I don't know who Earl is, but I hope he's a cool guy or something, because I'm named after the stream that he...
He's one of
Yeah.
the leaders of the
I think
first
he's cool
war
because you're cool.
Oh, thank
led
you.
genocide.
Anyway,
Named the
that's
creek after you.
that's all the gifts we have. We collect them, me and my dad, and we still have a bunch more for ourselves. So don't worry, we're not giving you all of what we have. We have a lot more, but these are ones that we thought you would like.
Thank you.
And you should share them too with people that you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she kind of hugs your leg, goes over to you, eyes, hugs your leg. Thank you.
She can't. I'm like her same height, probably.
Yep. But she still kind of like hugs you. She goes to each and every other one of you, gives you a little hug, and then scurries off.
I can die happy.
No, you can't.
I could. That was really cute. That was so sweet.
Neither of you are allowed to die. You can't.
We don't know that yet. Come say, come talk.
Yeah, we also don't know that he can't die. He could still do like the baby stages of being a god and still be able to.
I don't know, the glitter stunt pulled last night.
No, listen.
It was like spit up from a god baby. A little
Yeah.
godling.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
Sav
if
is
Cohen
solemnly
spit up
nodding.
glitter when he was a baby.
Oh. Right?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say. I was just gonna carry on.
I will stone shape real quick
Okay.
a piece of the boulder.
Okay.
It's mine now.
Nice.
I'm gonna go hunting again.
Okay.
While
As
we're
we
on the
travel,
road.
Are we on the road?
Yeah.
On the road.
The village folk say their goodbyes, and you continue on your path to Gordanski. As you guys begin traveling along. I think this is a good place to take a break. Let's take a break, and then we can pick right back up on your travel to Gordanski. You leave this village, you say your goodbyes, receive your many marvelous gifts, and you trek out. The beautiful forest, its warmth, the sun gleaming down from all the swaying branches above. A lot of the leaves are changing color. In this part of the world, it's about fall time. Winters here are never that extreme, but it is, it gets a little colder, more difficult to grow crops. A lot of the trees are kind of orange, yellow. Leaves are falling to the ground. The pine trees, their usual green. From where you are currently, let me see how many miles. You're getting very close to Gordanski. I'd say you are probably a week's journey from Gordanski, which, all things considered, that is a very short amount of time. We're going to, because I don't know about you guys, we've been wanting to get to Gordanski for some time. So if it's cool with you guys, let's try and get travel pretty quick.
I would like to go hunting one of the days to re-up on rations and stuff.
Yeah.
22.
Oh yeah, you're very, very good at hunting. You don't seem to have any problem, especially because the game in this area are quite populous.
Can I make an arrangement with you to get some of the blood from your kills?
Will your blood work?
It doesn't taste as good, but yeah, it works.
Just
You're
as
like Edward
rations.
Cullen. You're like the Cullens in Twilight. How they're vegan vampires, yeah.
The closer you get to Gordanski, the more what's the word for him? Back from break, I'm trying to... the roads are becoming more and more, built in. They're becoming nicer. Going from, that kind of dirt trail roads to, very finely made and upkept cobblestone, kind of roads. They kind of go off in every which direction. Various signs to nearby villages and smaller cities you pass as you're traveling.
I would like to stop at every city.
Oh no.
Every merchant.
I will briefly explain, because there are a couple villages that is just the fastest to go through that village. Every village you come across, the closer you get to the heart of Gordanski, the more Gordanski-esque you start seeing things. There are always guards in magnificently crafted dwarven steel plate armor. It's kind of this gold, silver, massive, broad shoulder guards, gauntlets, chest pieces, massive and finely crafted swords on their sides, and they are very active in their duties. At one point on your first day of travel, you pass through this village and you see this guard pulling a woman with a young child in her arms from their home, and then kind of pulling her to the side, and a couple other guards running into their house to search it. How do you guys react to this?
I think
don't know if we can't.
Ursa, for one, is getting flashbacks to that dream, that very first dream where she saw Elveron and the guards storming the house, and is trying to do her best to refrain from...
You should activate Tempest. Just summon a storm.
I'll kind of just, to comfort Ursa, just touch her shoulder, remind her that we're here to hopefully do something about this. That if we get caught now, it'll be all over.
Just a refresher, sorry, we left all of our weapons behind, right?
They're all in the house.
Okay.
But just our highest level.
The things that would be considered illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the magic
So
items.
most of it.
Most of it,
Are
yes.
guns
But
allowed?
No.
Okay, so I'm unarmed.
Yeah. You guys kind of pass as all of that goes down. There are several moments where you guys kind of have to clench your fists, bite your tongue, and just walk past things that are happening. You see guards beating people. At one point, you see down an alleyway of this small village, there's a young boy, maybe 15 or 16 years old, a human boy, and you see that there are two guards kind of standing in front of him, kind of saying that he stole something, and he's adamant that he didn't, but these guards don't seem to care much. They kind of hit him a couple times, then put him in shackles, kind of drag him off. It's becoming very militaristic. You are also getting very, very strange looks. Before you even leave this first village that you pass through, a group of maybe 7 guards kind of organize, knowing that you entered this village and like got together to like confront you before you could leave. They all kind of step out in front of you.
Should I be flashing the tear symbol?
They all kind of step out in front of you. One of them kind of takes the helm. So all of you folks, where exactly have all of you come from? What pardon my language, what holes have you dug yourself out from?
I'm gonna just let Atticus talk and possibly
Yeah, definitely take
Are these
the
your
helm.
slaves or something? Is this your wife? She's pretty young for you.
Oh, this is difficult. No.
One of the other guards, before you can even say anything, goes, "Oh no, my advisor, he's got a wife very similar to this one. I say this one's a tad prettier than his, though. Yeah, it's about the same age gap. I can see it working out."
I want to punch him so bad and just flash the tear symbol. We're just passing through.
Passing through, yeah. You got documentation for these slaves?
They're not slaves, but
They're
we
not
all
old.
do have documentation.
That's good. Getting the slaves into the city, that's a big hurdles you got to climb. Can I see that documentation, please?
Right, here's your papers.
hand my papers up towards Atticus.
Yeah, I guess I'll give my papers to Atticus.
I
Kind of shows into the
I watch for anything weird. Like if they try to lose any of the papers.
You see he's kind of fiddling through them. He kind of whispers to one of his buddies, "You, wretched thing. Could you give me the name of who filled this out for you?"
I did. Actually, I can still write.
No. The person that like stamped this gave you approval.
Can I remember the name of the person?
Keep mine.
You never got a name.
We didn't.
Just someone knock.
I don't know, someone in Argo. Never got a name.
Someone in Argo.
Do you ask the name of every worker who signs your papers?
Well, if I was your kind, I would probably be pretty... Oh, gosh.
Saved by the bell.
I'm getting one of them gets a notification. Apple Watch.
Sorry, got a quick telephone call. Got it.
Sending Stone quick walkie-talkie transmission coming through.
Rocky Talkie coming back.
Okay. He goes, because if I were your kind, I would probably be pretty adamant to make sure all the details were correct, knowing,
I'm not sure she would have given me her name if I would have asked it, though personally being my kind.
a woman gave you this.
Yes.
Go tell Master Prius that
Prius.
just look into Argo. Something.
Is there a Master Tesla around here?
Master Doctrine.
Stop.
Are you gonna call
Foundation, not
her
a.
your manager or something? They're perfectly legitimate, and I answered all the questions.
No, I just think it's a tad strange. Where are you heading? Gordanski?
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
Gordanski. What are you, what's your business there?
I mean, I have family there, but Then we were also invited as well to participate in Colosseum.
Who invited you?
Someone important. Doesn't matter all that much.
Do they have a family name? I'd know him.
Of sorts.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I'm not sure you would know him. You're stationed out here in this village.
I'm pretty sure we would know of this individual. Family names are memorized by these here.
Very well. What's the name of Ursa's?
Of Elveron? Do we know Elveron's surname?
What's Elveron's surname?
Oh yeah, what's Elveron's last name?
No.
You would know. I don't have it and I don't remember.
Well,
so I'm just gonna make something up and tell it to you. Daxus.
Well, I'm. What's his title?
He is High Lieutenant. He is he's an advisor to the king.
Well, I am friends with High Lieutenant Elveron Daxus, and I am going to see him. So you want to continue asking questions, or can we move on? You know, go ahead, give me your name. You're so worried about looking in the names. Give me your name.
Badge number, please.
Arthurus Tilbin.
Thank you, Mr. Tilbin. Pat him on the shoulder.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Can we have our papers back?
Yes, of course.
Just make sure I got everything.
Yeah, I just double checked it a few times. Is there anything off about it?
No, you get all them back there.
Sweet.
Teak, with your highest passive perception, as you guys are walking away, you hear the lead guard whisper and goes, send word, make sure they don't make it to the next town.
Yeah, we get to kill some Gordanski guards.
No, we are not going to kill some Gordanski guards.
Teak.
I'm gonna slowly whisper that out to everybody. So make sure everybody knows what's gonna
Who said that? I already forgot his name.
The head guy.
Tildis?
Yeah.
Was he the one that said that?
Yeah.
I'll just turn around and like, do you want to repeat that?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did.
You got proof?
We all heard it.
Yeah, you didn't say.
Are you
it
making an
quiet.
accusation? This is mighty. It's a big accusation. What did I say?
You said
They all kind of
And I
grasp at
quote,
their.
Listen,
make sure to send word and make sure that they don't make it to the next town.
we're needed in Gordanski. Here's proof. And I'll show the marketeer a man.
Oh.
Now, if you let us get by.
Yes, you may go.
Thank you.
Will we make it to the next town?
Yes. You have my word.
No problem.
Just leave.
Come on, Brent.
You all kind of scurry off. Another day goes past. Many kind of merchants, traders are wandering these cobblestone roads. You pass many villages, many large farming villages. I mean, these are large establishments. And you're still several hundred miles away from, or not several hundred, you're probably 100 miles away from Gordanski. You guys are making good pace, you've got horses. These are well-tended to villages, heavily militarized. You look, and despite all of the fancy armor, very, very expensive, a lot of the more lower class, which is everyone here, the food situation looks very scarce. You see beggar children kind of well, first of all, they probably kind of avoid you guys. You guys are races that they are told not to associate with.
Are there any kids on their own that look a little malnourished?
A lot of them do. Like, you see one skin and bones, little boy.
I would go up to him and be like,
Hi. Can I talk to you for just a moment?
Father said not to talk.
I just have.
Are you going to kill me?
No, I have food for you in case you want any.
Poison.
I take a piece of
And
the
he
ration
runs
out.
away.
Here. this is what we can do. And I would like to, the next people that we come across, if you really feel the need to help people individually, you've got to do it so they don't know you're doing it. And the next person we come across, I will try and drop like a gold piece as I walk by, just as though it fallen out of my pocket or something.
A gold piece to these people is so valuable.
Worth more than gold.
You drop it, you can tell like this child is,
And I'll just keep on walking.
you know, you just keep on walking and then you just hear quick, like into the mud, grabbing the coin, running off. I mean, that'll buy him like several weeks worth of food. You often forget how wealthy you all are. You all have more than enough provisions, more than enough food, and if you ran out, you would easily be able to buy the entire stock of any store that you came across. The wealth gap between just one of you is insane between all of these people that you are coming across. You enter this one village, large Tudor buildings, some of which 3-4 stories tall. You see these kind of bridges connecting the buildings up above, like other sets of walkways, because the populations are so immense that they need like another layer of street up above. So you're kind of passing underneath all these shops. At one point, you see another set of guards dragging by like his coat, just fully dragging him along. This older man, he's a human, maybe 70 years old, very old. They kind of drag him along in the dirt, and they kind of scream, "Come on, man! If you don't start walking real soon, I'll take your legs, and then you'll never be able to walk." He kind of stumbles up, super malnourished. The guard seems very pressed for time, and when he takes a little bit too long, he takes the sharp metal gauntlet and just hits him right across the face. You see his entire cheek kind of opens up and blood kind of starts flowing. The man kind of lays face down in the dirt, kind of grabbing his face before the guard kind of like grabs him again and kind of walks off. At one point you see a young woman, maybe 19, 20 years old. You see she's sort of in the middle of the square, and before you can even comprehend what's happening, you turn the corner and you see a guard swing his sword and cut her hand completely off. She immediately screams, which quickly is followed by her passing out, falls to the ground, and then you see this one guard with kind of these arcane enchanted gauntlets, that he kind of waits a second and he goes, she bleeds out. It won't look good on us. He kind of takes his arcane enchanted gauntlet, pressing it up against the wound. It heats up and cauterizes it as she's passed out. They kind of drag her off, and she disappears. All these unnamed people suffering as you all just walk past.
I drop a handful of coins. Like, I drop 5 coins, like, every so often, just to help people out.
Yeah, as much as we can without, like, looking suspicious, I would like to as well.
And then, are there any, like food places nearby that we could like stop by? I'd like to.
Yeah, there are plenty of shops. A lot of them refuse to serve you, though.
For sure.
Because of your races.
Could I find one that would be willing to sell us stuff?
You see there is this one where there's a older looking, middle-aged, he's a dwarven man, probably half dwarf, half human. He's a little taller for a dwarf. Full red beard, very scraggly. He's kind of got flies going around him. He probably hasn't bathed in weeks. He's kind of pulling this cart with like freshly slaughtered pigs, and kind of dragging it along. He kind of makes eye contact with you. You see kindness in his eyes.
I see that some people here are a little worse for wear in the food department, and I was wondering if I could. I mean, I imagine things are tight for you as well. I was wondering if I could.
You want to buy a pig?
Well, not for me, but for whoever needs it the most. Whoever you I can pay for it.
I've got 3 fresh slaughtered boars. You're welcome to your pick.
Well, I mean, they probably won't take it from me. I mean, like, just the next people who come by to pay you, just give it to them.
He seems very confused. You want me to keep the bows but give them to the next people I see?
Yeah.
And you'll pay me for this?
Yeah.
May I ask where you're from?
I'm from Hastridge.
Oh. What used to be?
What do you mean?
So Tyre, he'll try his own now.
Oh, I've heard that Gordanski's gotten down there, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been years since I've been down there.
it's changed a lot. For the 3 bows, it'll be about 10 gold pieces.
Alright, I drop him 15.
But you really don't have to.
No, do you have something you want? Something you've been working for? Just
This is. It takes me days to sell these pigs.
keep it.
I don't know what to. I don't know what to say. What's your name?
My name's Gwyneth.
Gwyneth. My name's Lynn. You see kind of a single tear, kind of, and you don't know his story, nor he yours. He kind of, if I weren't so bloody dirty, I would give you a hug. I don't want to tarnish your fine clothes, miss.
That's sweet, just give me a hug.
He kind of awkwardly gives you a hug.
And I'm gonna dexterously as I can slip 2 platinum pieces in his back pocket as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this.
He kind of takes it. There's a few adolescents around the corner I could give these to.
Anyone who needs it most, I trust that you could get it out to them.
Yes.
I'm gonna. While this is happening, are there any like places we've passed of like I'm looking for, like just little alleyways and stuff that like are any maybe groups of people could be hiding back there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just in general.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Okay. And then in one of them, I mean, empty or not, really. I want to cast create food and water.
Okay.
Which let me double check this because I looked it up and then I forgot.
Be careful, check for orange first.
Yeah.
His magic
so I
is
mean,
banned.
looking for clear and like farther back in an alleyway that you know, I mean, preferably doesn't have many people in it, but I want people to be able to see it. But it's 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water.
Jeez. Wow.
So it's a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like leave it like in an alleyway. I have
So
a pretty
bunch
decent
of
range on it where I
porridge.
can just like hopefully subtly just leave it there for
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
needs it and continue walking with that much.
Yeah. When one of the peasants kind of sees you cast a spell. Wait, or were you doing this like where no one would see you?
Attempting to do that, yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to roll for that? Or?
Yeah, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me, or stealth, your choice.
That was correct. That okay. Fine, that works. And which check do you say that was? Just sleight of hand or stealth? Okay, that is a 13.
13. This one woman.
I'm trying
maybe,
to make sure to absolutely not do it with guards looking,
Yeah.
but if
This
like
one-
one or two people
This
do
one
maybe it'll be
woman, maybe 26 years of age, around that midpoint. She's carrying like a 3-year-old toddler. She kind of rounds the corner and kind of just out of the corner of your eye, you can tell she kind of notices, and she
I
kind
kinda
of
just, like,
stops.
subtly tip my hat and just keep walking.
She kind of bends down. Are you part of the Mages Guild?
No, I'm just with the group passing through.
How did you learn how to do that?
We're from farther away.
How far?
All over, really. But we just want to help as much as we can.
Good day to you. She kind of walks off. Okay. You guys continue on. Day passes, another day passes. As you're walking through a village or on just the road, I would just like at least one solid, like just talk amongst yourselves. Maybe about the experiences that you've had witnessing all of this. Atticus, you've seen
So sad.
You've seen this before, but having a new perspective on it, it's
gross.
It's rough.
Embarrassed and gross.
Attic. Was it always like this?
I think so.
I tried giving a little boy food and he wouldn't even take it.
Yeah.
People are scared of what they don't know, Gwen.
I wasn't offended by him. I understand that he said his dad told me that, or he said his dad told him that I would kill him, that people like me would kill him, and insisted the food was poisoned, so...
Maybe we could have Ursa and Atticus hand out things like that from all of us, and just by the association.
I worry if we spend too much time here trying to make individual change in these villages, we'll get caught.
It's not
for
about...
sure.
Yes, I don't think we should linger, but as we're passing through, I'd like to help out however we can. It's not about them knowing who we are, it's making sure that they don't starve.
I know, but just be careful. You casting that was risky enough. And you engaging with townsfolk is also risky.
If they
Well,
tell
that
me
risk-
to go away,
Us being here is risky.
That risk resulted in positive. I mean, now they know at least one gnome is not the killer. I say we keep on doing it.
It won't matter if
Well,
they kill us and they starve anyways.
Maybe not, but word spread.
I'll
yeah,
just...
rumors will start.
The ones who are more inclined to give us a chance, they don't seem hostile to us. We might as well.
And if
We can.
if they do kill us, it will just mean that Tyr made the wrong choice, and that also helps the cause.
It's true.
I'd prefer not to die though.
That's fair.
Listen, just keep it covert, please. I know it's hard to walk by, but we need to at least make it to the city before we get arrested.
Are we ever able to stay in an inn, or are we relying on the
You're
house?
more than
I
welcome
don't
to.
want to stay in an inn.
I understand, but also using the house
Oh,
I say we
don't
stealth
have to.
camp.
We're just
stealth
camping.
camp.
Yeah,
If we just in the occasion that we ever did stay in an inn, I'd like to say that Ursa replaced one of the doorknobs with a gold one. She was given.
Yeah, if you'd like to stay a night at one of the inns, I mean, you pass many.
If it's
You're more
out of
than
the
welcome to.
question.
I mean,
I don't think it's smart.
maybe going in through buildings and stuff, right, as we're passing. Maybe not many, but
Let's
Also, you gotta be careful too, because if they see you like fiddling with a door,
Well, exactly. That's why I was doing like the inn, right?
Yeah.
Where we wouldn't be. But
yeah.
let's go for as long as we can, and if we find ourselves exhausted, we can try and in, but I mean, the bubble that I conjure is pretty safe for us.
Okay. passing village by village, crossing over large rivers with these elaborate bridges built over the top of them. You see boats over these massive rivers kind of drifting along, some fishing boats, some even larger, kind of galleon-sized. This one river that you cross, this like huge river, this large military galleon is kind of making its rounds along the river. Its cannons sticking out. It has a large ballista atop it.
So, sorry, are you saying, like, we're passing through multiple villages?
Yeah.
Okay, can I take off, like, 15 gold? Just to, maybe start rumors but not get attention.
Yeah.
As we're passing through all these towns too, I'd really like to use my newfound little god powers and stuff.
Okay.
Glitter bomb these homeless kids.
No,
Bomb the guards, oh my god.
That would be really funny.
But we'd probably get immediately blamed
They
for
wouldn't
it
know.
if we were in the
we
vicinity.
would get immediately
Think
blamed for
of one after
If we were
leave
in the
town.
vicinity.
But they would find someone to blame.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would.
But as we're passing through, since I can do it without really having any signs of it or anything, I'd like to leave little things like apples and bread and maybe some beer for, the adult folks and stuff. Just kind of whatever I can and try to adapt to people's needs as they come.
Okay.
And I'll kind of do a similar thing to Atticus, just, here and there as we're walking around.
I have 26 gold left. I've given it all away. And bought stuff for the group.
Still more than these people make in a lifetime.
I know.
I'm swimming.
I've got
How much you
money
got?
if you need it.
I am. Huh?
Which one of us has more?
Probably.
I don't know, because I haven't hardly spent anything this entire campaign.
That's
Do
why
you
I
keep
keep
track?
on giving it away.
Yeah.
How much you got?
I don't want to say.
7 months.
This sounds embarrassed about how much.
How
She's a
many
billionaire,
rummy games
basically.
you got?
Huh?
What bread you got? How much you got? This is like the Patrick Bateman scene.
I do not have more than 20 platinum worth of gold
Okay, so 2,000.
Same.
right now. Hey.
Wait, no. You have more than 2,000, don't you? You have more than 2,000.
I just said I don't have more than 20 platinum
But
worth.
that's
25 is 2,000. You don't have more
Yeah,
than
That's
200.
200 gold.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
That's 200.
I know how things work.
Oh,
She's bad at math.
Platinum is 10 gold.
no.
Oh, okay.
How much you got?
Like,
More than you.
what?
I have so much money.
I thought I had more.
I don't buy anything.
23.
Yeah.
Hey,
Billionaire.
23,000. I have
He gives away as much as
17,000.
400!
I don't even want to know how much Teak has.
That's
I have
Tell us.
1,200.
yeah. I would like to
Flex.
spend as much of it as I can in these towns.
flex.
Although, how do you do that without it being?
Yeah, are you going into shops or
Oh,
anything?
yeah, because if the guards notice, then
I
there's
know,
a
'cause
huge
I-
uptick in
Yeah.
Just
economy.
kinda keep it.
I've just been dropping
Yeah,
it.
I've just been dropping them.
I was gonna say like dropping it, yeah, but it's at some
We-
point it's gonna get.
We don't want to hyperinflate the
Tax.
economy.
Yes, we're just
Yeah.
walking through these
Single
towns
Things are rough,
handling.
isn't it?
I'm taking off like 50 gold for this whole trip. That's how much I dropped.
Okay.
Damn.
At one point, another thing you see is a couple of the guards are chasing down this man, probably in his 30s. This man itself is wielding this axe. This man is running away from these guards. The guards finally intercept him, but this man is fighting. For whatever reason he may be, he's fighting. He swings his axe. The guards dexterously block them with their blades until one of the guards slices across his abdomen, completely opening it up, and you see his bowels empty onto the cobblestone street, and he just falls to the ground. The guards act almost as if it was a game to them. They bicker over the entire situation, and they drag off the body as if it was nothing. This body was a dwarf. Imagine what they would have done if it was an elf.
How close were we to them?
probably 40 feet away. It's just up the street.
I think I freeze up
Okay.
because
Without like drawing too much attention, I'm not gonna do anything noticeable. I'm going to minor illusion, like the smallest whisper in one of their ears, like, imagine what your mother would think. That.
you're creating the grasshopper from Pinocchio.
One of the
But
guards,
like evil and like death.
one of the guard kind of.
And then in
Did you
his
say
other,
something?
And then in his other ear, it's gonna whisper, "It was not them.
Just lifted
You will pay for your sins in the next life."
You see, he draws his sword. Which one of you is doing this witchcraft? He kind of addresses the peasants in the street. It was you, wasn't it? And he approaches this one peasant. This woman kind of like backs up. No, sir, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. Admit it. I didn't. You didn't. He exclaims, liar! Slaps her across the face, drawing blood. And then he kind of grabs her by the arm. Punishment for this kind of witchcraft is your hand. He takes the arm.
Hey!
I'm like, okay, yeah, let's fight. I think that actually
What are
snapped
you
me
doing?
out of the paralysis that I was
What are you doing?
Get your bloody hands off me, you filthy dwarf!
Start. I grab her by the collar and start
bite you.
dragging her
I
away
will.
from the guards.
This guard kind of lets go of this woman, walks over. Was it you?
I'm gonna bite Atticus.
I minor,
Pulls you off, holds you up by the scruff.
I minor illusion in that one woman's ear. Run. Just run. As fast, like I just say that.
She was already running.
yeah.
Like she,
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I'd be.
kind of picks you up by the scruff. What do you think you're doing?
Can't breathe.
Oh, he kind of grabs you a little tighter. And he kind of addresses you.
Can I
Be my guest.
drag her into the alley?
Oh,
The guard follows.
yeah.
This is your one chance.
One hit and she's dead.
Moment we've all been waiting for.
Gwen's like, wish that was me.
The guard kind of, come on.
Really goblin-esque. Not the goblin.
Playing into the stereotype.
I pick her up by this, like by the collar and toss her into the mud further into the alley. And then once I'm far enough away from the main road to make this seem sort of believable, I punch eyes.
Okay.
It's a single tear.
Punch.
Pull it, right? I'm guessing you
Like I
pull
make
it.
it, or I have to roll a deception check.
Yeah,
if I
make a
don't-
deception.
If I don't, if I don't pull it, do I have to make a deception check?
If you don't pull it, it's just a hit.
Okay.
It's okay. As long as you don't do more than 85.
It's the night.
Please don't give me lingering injury.
Does a 19 hit?
It does hit. Yes.
In that case, it's 6 damage,
Okay.
just straight across the face.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I
That's it.
pick her up again. Can I roll a stealth check to say something to Eyes without the guard noticing?
Sure.
Okay. That's a 16 plus 2 for 18.
Okay.
And I'm just like, fall unconscious. And I go to hit her again.
Don't even roll it. I mean,
okay.
you'll hit her. You hit her.
So another 6 damage.
Make a. Are you playing knocked out?
while this is going on, I'm going to whisper minor
You don't have to
illusion
do
again.
much.
in his voice.
Stop
I'm gonna say,
whispering! Stop whispering!
I'm gonna say,
You thought it was that woman. No, I am something much worse.
The guard.
Taking the consequences of my actions right
The
now.
guard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna. Because you're doing this like right after you get hit. I need to know what you are doing before, so I know how this guard reacts. Are you pretending to get knocked out?
I would try.
Make a performance check.
Performance?
Make a performance check.
I mean, you just kind of gotta go limp.
Okay.
Because the tell is usually eyeballs.
Have you
but-
rolled your divination die?
I haven't for today.
Divination die. Oh, poopy shit.
That was what I got.
The only way we can cope with these situations is to giggle a little bit through them.
I'm having so much fun.
15?
15.
Wait, no, not 15. My performance is -1. 11. Uh-oh.
Let me just make sure.
Hey,
Make sure
if
the
I
math is
die,
right.
maybe you
I
won't realize
look for the guard's
actions.
reaction to see if he believes it.
If I roll a 12, if I roll a 14 or higher, it is bad for you.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, that is a 1.
Unlucky guard.
He is so unobservant, he doesn't even hear the whisperings in his ear. He's so preoccupied.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Stupid dumb guard.
He kind of. What's she to you?
I don't know. She,
Some stranger?
huh? Oh,
Take it.
Some kid trying to rob
so,
you.
no, oh,
Does Atticus stutter like this?
he's a lot more confident. He has commanding presence. I don't like being a racist.
what would Attic think would be the smartest thing to say to a Gordanski guard that would make the Gordanski guard not kill eyes?
I picked her up in Ickvale, but she's being a little bitch. I'll teach her.
I trust you.
Crying on the inside.
Have fun with it. And he
Thanks.
walks off. Situation resolved.
Good delivery. Damn.
As soon as he got his sight, I feel so bad.
I'm alright. I have this.
I'm so sorry.
It's a nick. It's fine. You did good.
First is gonna look down the alley and just make a subtle hint to like, let's get going.
I'll you're just gonna have to carry me out. Right.
Yeah,
Over your shoulder, maybe?
Can you keep up the act?
I mean, all I gotta do is go limp.
Do I know if there's any like arcane triggers just in the streets? Like, oh, magic is going on. Wee woo, wee woo.
No, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
Magic booty trap.
And
People aren't so stupid to use magic so
and
boldly.
goblins have pointy ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you minor illusion like I cut off your ear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that'll get us out of the city quickest.
Okay. You minor illusion.
I don't know if I'll minor illusion, because I don't know if minor illusion will hold up. Well, let me look at those spells.
I mean, it's
That's
literally a
not
5x5 cube, and you can do just
It
like
would
a
work.
still.
Well,
You
but
can
I
do
don't
like a
think
still
you-
image.
Yeah, but that
But can
would
you get
be-
it to like hover?
I don't think you can
Oh,
get
okay,
it to
that's
like
true.
make things invisible because that would be really broken.
That's true.
Let me
Yeah.
look at it real quick. Sound or an image of an object within range.
Can you just make it seem really
I have a quick
bloody?
DM.
Right, make it seem just
As
so it,
we are passing through the cities, am I seeing any signs or posters or symbolism of resistance?
No.
Oh,
Most definitely not.
Okay.
Make a perception check for me since you're looking for things.
Ooh. That is not great.
And I'll let you roll for advantage because you're traveling a lot, you're looking a lot, so
Oh, that was even worse. Just by 1.
I will minor illusion instead. More scratches on
Okay.
my eyes.
Like fresh
Yeah,
wounds.
fresh
Okay.
wounds on my eyes.
Okay.
Well, I rolled a natural 10. I cannot find my stat right now for some reason.
For what?
Perception.
That would be in wisdom.
Oh, there you go.
4.
14.
14. At one point, you do hear a couple just regular townsfolk talking. They're kind of walking down the street, sort of similar to where you guys are, and you hear one of them goes, "Yes, I heard about the Falrons. For such a rich family, do you think that's true? They can't possibly be that rich. And the king himself?" He goes, "No, from what I heard, the king and all of his little kingdoms, they're in a lot of debt. And the Falrons, well, they owe the Falrons the most. They say half their army is funded by the Falrons." Whoa.
Trying to make friends with the fire.
Atticus. Oh, wait, no. You wouldn't hear this, so never mind. But that's what you hear. You hear talk about the Falrons. It's addressed as a family name, a very noble, rich family. The way that they are talking about this family, it is believed that they are the richest family in Gordanski. They're not the king, but they are very wealthy.
Almost as if it's a situation where they're kind of lobbying the king. And, Okay. As we're passing in between towns, I would ask Atticus about the Falrons.
Okay.
What would I know about the Falrons?
Have we left this town yet?
I'm not sure.
I mean, all of this travel is kind of wishy-washy, like dipping in and out.
I
But
would have needed to have a talk with.
you can have that at any point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
at any point.
After we left the town where Atticus had to beat me up.
Yeah, let's do this first.
As soon as we're like out,
Yeah, when we're out.
I so carefully put you down.
I'm
Like I walk away, like just off the beaten path without a word. I think a mixture of seeing all these things with a new perspective, how I had to play with it, and probably one of the killing blows to my situation was seeing some of the techniques that I know and perform regularly. I think this has been like outside of Gordanski's reign. I've been able to keep a lot of the post-traumatic stress under control. I wasn't exposed to it at all. But this is probably just super off, doesn't know what to do, very panicky, like because of his discipline and training, he was able to keep it together, but as soon as we're out of sight, he's freaking out, very shaky, unresponsive sometimes, just kind of throughout travel. And as we continue down this path, it is getting worse and worse to try to hold it together.
Atticus, after the town where he had to fight me, I'll just kind of hold his shoulders. It's all right. It's all right. I'm all right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Attic. That was my fault. No, he would not. Eyes wouldn't have felt the need to react if I hadn't tried to scare that guard. I know you don't know I did that, but yeah. So
I told you not to mess with him.
I understand. I understand.
It's fine. We're testing the waters here, not in Gordanski. It could have been a lot worse there. I'm glad both of you did what you did.
You can't pull it. You can't pull that again. You have to promise me.
I'm aware.
But
I'm apologizing right now and saying that I'm not going to do it again right now, Ayaz. You got the...
Please. I'm trying not to get angry, but
Let's keep our focus away from the guards.
we could have been arrested back there.
I understand.
I could have been killed.
Ayaz, what I'm saying is you don't need to keep saying please when I'm saying, yeah, I'm on the same page.
I just need assurance that you'll actually do it.
I can only assure you by saying that I won't do it again. I don't know what else you want.
Maybe a sorry.
I said sorry. That's what I led with. Remember, I said I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I won't do it again. That's
Atticus.
I am sorry to you too.
I'll prove it by not doing something like that again.
So let's we what we can what we can do.
Just, we can't solve it right now. Just breathe. Walk. Come on.
We need a plan.
Just keep your head down, please.
Guys, we've had this discussion too many times. I get it. I'm on the same page as you. I'm apologizing. Stop telling me what to do now,
Well,
please.
stop doing it, please.
Don't tell me what to do. I said, I get it. I'm on the same page as you. Please just drop it. That's all I'm asking.
You notice in the middle of this conversation, all the sounds of the birds and insects have completely halted.
I have the alert feat.
I know.
Wait.
What we can
You hear off in the distance. Flying overhead, you see a massive green dragon. You see it is chained and a massive saddle sits atop it as a Gordanski guard rides on top of this green dragon and flies past all of the trees. Bellow as the wind catches up with it. You kind of get knocked off place. Anyone around the street that you guys are with seem unfazed by this.
We are outside of we are like a little bit outside.
Okay, well, a little bit outside, but yes. You see a green dragon, massive green dragon, with chains, a saddle, and a Gordanski guard.
All right. Just, let's not be killed before we've even started.
You can talk to me.
we've already started.
Yes.
We're in this.
Let's go then.
We need to. It can't all just be focused on Gordanski. We must spread it out. That is what we're doing. We can't mess with the guards. They will find excuses to blame people. They want to hurt people. It's the people. That's what we've decided. It's the people. We help the people and show that there's good in the world. And that's how we will sow the means to change. Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
Atticus. We're doing that, yes.
Small things now.
But careful things.
Careful things now.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Village after village.
Can I do one more thing?
Yes. Oh, and also we didn't finish up. Sorry, continue and then we'll do.
One night of just stealth camping in the forest. Obviously none of you experienced this, but I'm gonna give a little bit of a peek behind the screen, or into the mind of Atticus. A lot of old feelings are coming back. And it's starting to boil over. He finds restful sleep, not necessarily out of choice, but out of necessity because of how poorly he's been sleeping. And in that forced deep sleep, REM cycles where dreams happen, out of exhaustion, the more tired you get, the heavier you'll sleep, the more intense the dreams. He's wakes up in a forest. Not even wakes up, he finds himself walking in a forest. Not with a normal battalion. This is pretty far on into his military career. You hear fighting, or he hears fighting behind him as he walks deeper into carnage. It's kind of been a back and forth, but this new offensive will pretty easily break the lines, he knows, but they're going to make sure of it. His group walks deep into the carnage that they've already seen multiple times at this point in the war. Bodies, carnage, gore, mud, disease. He was given a task, and he's going to perform that task because it is his duty. Not thinking about humanity, not thinking about his family, simply a blank slate following orders. He and the people around him bury themselves in the gore, in the mud, in the carnage, and wait silently. Person to the left and right hold crossbows submerged in gore and mud. He has 2 trusty battle axes, purposefully rusted to blend in. And they wait and wait. And in this dream state, he feels like it's a couple of days, and all of a sudden he hears footsteps of enemy forces retreating to their position, where once upon them, the gnomes, elves, some humans dressed in enemy armor stand around them, not knowing that death is waiting for them. And upon the moment of strike, he wakes up, I think, from this dream state in a very angered and loud state, not knowing where he is, almost like a sleep paralysis demon where you don't know what's real and what's fake. And I don't know if he ends up accidentally injuring the sleeping people around him, but he's in some sort of half awake, half dream state from the past for a minute or two before he finally wakes up.
Would you wake up swinging?
Oh, yeah, easily.
We're all
swinging.
in like a 10-foot bubble, so you probably hit, or at least jostle.
You guys hear Atticus scream awake, and he is not himself. He's like in fight or flight mode, and he is willing to fight. What are you guys doing?
I think ours is going to make a grapple check for Atticus.
Okay. Let's, roll
I'm
off.
gonna assist with this while you're going to grapple him. I'm gonna
I also
jump
like
at his
rage.
legs.
Okay.
So,
Is there any sort of initiative order here?
Not at this
I
moment.
will also.
I'd like to cast a suggestion
Okay.
and just save me.
Okay. What's the DC and what does Atticus have to roll?
Oh, let me find out.
It's 15 to help with the grapple.
So what did you get?
I got like a 10.
Okay.
Or unless it's like, yeah.
Was
it's not a
that
saving
with
throw.
advantage?
That was with
Okay.
assistance.
The spell save DC is 17, and my guess is wisdom, but I don't.
Pretty sure it's wisdom.
Okay. The strength was 23.
Yeah, so you win outright.
I would like to use Indomitable to reroll a saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 18 plus 0.
Okay.
I am just gonna hold my hands out. Atticus.
Half awake, half asleep. He's, I think, attacking.
I'm just going to try and dodge around your attacks.
Was there anything in his home that stuck out to me like it would be very grounding for him?
Is he still in that state?
His wife?
Where's his
Yeah.
Family.
Where's his where's your instrument? Do you have your
You
instrument
know
with
what? I will
Probably somewhere in my camping bag.
I'll conjure basically as much as I can his like loot, right? His loot with kind of a photo of like his son and daughter and wife kind of between some of the strings.
Ersa, Gwyn, Savrin, you all kind of try and pile onto Atticus, trying to subdue him, calm him down. He, with ease, kind of does an armbar on you, Ersa, throws you over his shoulder onto the ground.
I'm gonna grab the lute and I will start playing one of the ditties that he plays for us often.
Atticus, you fend off all of these enemies. You then hear this lute. You look over. You see on the ground a instrument with music going on around you and a picture of your family. Will you make a Constitution check for me? Saving throw.
Natural 20 plus 5.
Divination die?
You immediately kind of shake out of it, ground yourself into reality, and as the fog kind of clears, you realize that these are your friends.
It's okay.
It's all right.
What if I can't do it?
That's okay.
What if going back is too much? What if I put you in danger?
We're already in danger, Atticus.
I put you in danger, and you stick with me, so I'm gonna stick with you, regardless.
The problem with wielding the biggest stick is you can hit me and I might be fine, but I might hit you and you might not be fine.
I'll be fine.
We have 7. We'll be okay.
I'm pretty sure I can banish you if I want. That might help.
And even if you cut me in half, I'd probably just poof away.
I think he's hearing all of these things consciously, but he's still in another place.
I'm gonna just take Atticus's arm and gently just lead him away from the group.
Out of the bubble?
Out of the bubble, so the bubble pops. Just stay here. He needs some air. I'll just lead Atticus out. Just
Do you have your bag on you?
Depends. Probably not. Atticus.
Very visibly, just shaking.
I could probably feel you shaking, and I think I would grab your hands to try and stabilize you a bit. You're all right. You're here. No.
Can I ask you to do something extremely difficult?
Yes.
I remember now why I drank. Can you get rid of yours? Leaving the bubble, I wanted to reach into your back, or I don't know. The thought crossed my mind of waiting for everyone else to fall asleep. And that's not a demon that I want to let to the light again.
I can make sure you will be able to reach.
Thank you.
I have these sorts of nightmares too. Less physical than yours, but I think you need to give yourself the space to process these things.
How? It's been years.
Well,
I've thought about them. How do you get them to go away?
I don't know. But I don't think they go away. Mostly just you learn. I studied psychology, which is the science of thoughts and your mind, how your brain works, actually. And the thing with trauma is compartmentalizing your thoughts can help you control them, help you panic less. Sometimes recognizing when a thought is trauma-induced is what allows you to face it. But, I was good at remembering the psychology, not actually practicing it, so. There are things that help me.
Like throwing up? Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be a jab
it's
or
all right.
anything.
It's a release. I can't really cry, so it feels like a way to expel pressure, if that makes sense. But I have healthier ones too. I just don't usually do them because they don't feel as cathartic, but
like what?
Music and stargazing used to be one, and I would do puzzles, not the silly kind where you put the pieces together, but real advanced ones like the one back in my bag. I would read. think of something you could do. Just one. If you think of something, I will do it with you, so that you can have someone that will just sit and be there and not talk and not worry, but you won't be alone.
Okay.
Unless you don't want that, then you can tell me to leave and I will.
I'll have to think about something that I can do. I'm just gonna stay out here a little longer if you want to get back to bed.
I won't fall back asleep, but
Sorry.
this is not your fault. It isn't.
Okay.
Does the loot help? Just listening to it?
I think this time it's more just confused me out of it. But if I connect that with you all, it could probably help.
Your grandmother taught you to play it, didn't she?
Yeah. I just wanted to be like her.
What was your favorite song she would sing?
It was one she made up about her people that she used to go do stuff with. It was I mean, context to the situation helps, but it's a song I mean, weird that it's not like one of her most positive songs. It actually is a little sad, but like it's about a tree burning, but like it's not really burning. It sounds cool.
A tree burning, but not really.
Like it wasn't really burning. It was like she used a lot of magic to like to make it seem like it was burning for like an attacking army that was trying to burn it, but it's pretty cool. But yeah.
I'll think of something. Do you want to go back to the fire where it's warmer? Sometimes the temperature can help when it's cold.
I'll stay out here a little bit longer, but then I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. I'll go back to the fire and I'll sit down with the lute and just start strumming out some chords, making up about a song about a tree burning, but not burning.
And he cries a little bit, looks at the stars, and once he cleans himself up, he comes back, and he's very tired.
Crashes.
Yeah.
Once he's in a deeper sleep, I'll start picking out some old elvish lullabies, I think. Just kind of humming along with them.
Okay. Odie, do you remember that thing that you were curious about earlier? Yes. In regards to the Falrin family? I think you were about to ask Atticus about it.
I was just going to see if he knew anything about it.
This night passes, another day on the road. There is an opportunity where it's in the middle of the day along the trail, and Atticus is there. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to ask him.
Hey, do you know anything about the Felrin family?
Atticus, you would know that the Felrins are one of the several noble sort of families. And by noble in this regard, it's more so the select few families that come from very, very old money and...
They're like the Rockefellers.
Yeah. So they're considered like nobles out of money. That's how all the nobles function here, is they're just the ones that can buy the title pretty much. But the Felrins are a whole other level of wealth. People know that the Felrins are, again, absurdly wealthy. You've heard rumors that they are even wealthier than the king himself. Of course, the official statement is that no one is richer than the king's family. But again, rumors.
Would I know of them?
You would know of them, yes.
Hell yeah.
The Felrins are, so the Felrin family themselves, they do have like their own keep. They have their own keep, their own like standing military, like their army. And this keep they've owned for generations. It is a human family, and they are very well respected. Atticus, you have never personally met any Felrin, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big name. I'm surprised you knew that. Have you been reading up about Gordanski or something, or?
Just trying to pay attention to the town. That was all.
Yeah, I mean, most nobles just buy the title of noble.
Gordanski's funny that way.
A lot of money, like whole other level. Some people think they're even richer than the king.
And they have disdain for them, right?
Disdain for the king?
For the Felrin.
Oh, I don't know how the king feels about the Felrin. I mean, maybe behind closed doors they disagree, but at least publicly they're on the same side.
The Felrins reside in the king's kingdom, so they are technically subservient to the king and abide by all of that. But yes.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that you wish to look into on your travels?
I think if people have things that they want to do before this point, but I think as we reach that kind of apex point, as we are getting closer and closer to the walls of Gordanski, I think that Ursa would approach Teak if he were available.
Teak, are you available?
I am.
That's a loaded
Amazing.
It was. It had many. It was intentional.
Okay.
I think during camp one night, Ursa would walk up to Teak and kind of grab the spear off of her back. Hey, a while ago you put some black salt on the spearhead. I didn't use all of it. I was wondering if you could salvage it, remove it, take it off.
I can definitely do that. Did you want something else, or? Or just good?
Oh no, I just thought it would be good to take that off before I give it back.
For sure. Well, all right. If you just want to go ahead and give that to me, I can take care of it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Manual file.
Careful. Don't explode.
Okay. Any other business?
You doing all right, Teak?
What was it?
Are you doing all right?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Ah,
So yeah, it's been a wild little journey we've had through Gordanski.
right.
You know, I understood a little bit about the way that people act towards each other with animosity, but this is a whole nother level. It's crazy.
I know, I don't think I've been called wretched so many times in my life, and I lived in Ickvale, and that's absurd.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll think about it later. We have a mission right now.
I admire your steadfastness. As unhealthy as it
Yeah, no, I'll break down later.
All right.
Is that me or is that Brandon?
Oh no.
That is the question.
It's always a question. It's a blurry line right there.
Okay. This is your last call before you get to Gordanski.
I think maybe after he could finish getting that black salt off of the spear, should take it back and approach Eyes. Do you have any sendings in you?
I've got this bad boy can fit so many sendings in it.
You point at your own head.
I do. Sorry, I don't know what kind of.
I've never seen you so sad, Pappy.
It's like I'm possessed by the spirit of a weirdo.
Do you think you could message Cree back in Quadrant? And tell him to grab Mom and Dad and Ren and go to the high point?
I can do that. I will do that.
Okay. They answer. They're all okay.
Let's go.
They're all dead.
As the spell allows, you're able to understand them, even though they don't really converse through common. The time passes and they do what you say.
Okay. Ursa is going to, after giving them maybe 5 minutes to get there,
I'm going to hand them the spear through the portal. You want to attach any writing or anything to it? Any... questions? Updates?
Questions, maybe. I think I'd just rather tell them the stories in person. You know?
I worry your parents know more than they've let on.
I think you're right. Could you help me with some questions, something?
Yes. We can write it down.
Okay.
Give it all to them, and they can answer it. You can always reach the portal to your high point and pick up whatever they leave there. Alright.
I think we maybe take 10 minutes and write down, what do you think? Questions to ask of...
I mean, we don't have to do it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always get back to me.
Perfect.
We'll come up with questions.
Amazing. We write the questions down, roll up the piece of parchment. I take some twine and wrap up the piece of parchment and attach one of the doorknobs, the one that's hyper familiar to the craftsmanship that the tribe is known for. And I will open the portal at the high point and hope to see their faces.
You see all of their faces, and they look back at you and see yours, and you can tell they are caught way off guard. They did not know you could do this, and they did not know they would be able to see you today. They immediately kind of clamber towards the portal, and although it's small, your mother is the first to stick her hand through. You kind of clasp her hands, and not much is said, not much needs to be said. She just looks you in the eyes with the deepest of motherly loves, holds your hand, and you take turns with all your brothers, your father, kind of clasping each other's hands. Your brother kind of signs through the portal and goes, "You've added some muscle."
I've been working on it.
You still practicing the sword?
I think I could take you down now.
I doubt it. You'll have to prove that one.
Well, in order to prove that, you better take this back. And,
He kind of takes the spear back.
thanks for letting me borrow it.
He goes, "Seems you maybe needed it more than we did." And then he immediately smacks his brother across the butt with the wooden end of the spear, and you see they kind of start brawling out a little bit before the your dad kind of just claps, like or not claps, they wouldn't hear that, but he does a large hand gesture,
Stomping, any of,
Knock him upside the head.
They kind of stop, and the parchment attached to it, your mother starts reading it, knowing she obviously is your mother. She knows you very well. She knows that you cannot talk forever and that you have business to attend to. But she tells you that she will answer all these questions and says to be sure to to keep communication open so that she can tell you all the answers and talk with you a bit.
Okay.
You kind of exchange looks with your family. You can tell your mother especially is like, "Oh my gosh, she's alive." Kind of that motherly relief before you shut the portal and be done.
I just take one last gaze across the beautiful, beautiful sheer rock face and the waves.
You kind of smell that ocean mist.
Just let it hit me before I finally have to.
I'm sad you gave away the doorknob. I thought you were going to put it in your hair. That's what I was hoping.
It's a little too big.
I was figuring you could use it as an extra weapon. Swing it around.
Well, Erla made me promise to share.
All right. It's beautiful, by the way.
There's no place like it. I've learned.
We haven't been everywhere yet. We're getting close, but I haven't even seen the other half of the world.
Do you think we'll see it all?
I won't. You might. Especially if you keep learning how to teleport places. I mean, you can go anywhere.
I can't believe I walked right into that. We've been traveling for months.
I know. It's funny. Stop smiling at me.
I'll smile at the ground.
I will eat one of your doorknobs.
Okay. You take. Oh, sorry, what you saying?
As we are going through these towns, there's one more thing I'd like to leave.
Okay.
In little alleyways and just kind of like corners where guards wouldn't see as much, I would like to leave posters.
Okay. Which say what?
They don't say anything, they're just an image.
Okay.
There was a while back before we ever started recording when we were in the observatory and you told me that I had say over what constellations were in the sky. One of those constellations I would like to be a jackalope.
Okay.
You have to show your tattoo. You're legally
No. The jackalope, as it's known to stargazers, is a symbol of. It's not exactly rebellion, but it's close. It's the jackalope is inherently a peaceful creature because it's prey, but it has, weapons to arm itself, and it knows when to use them. And it's just an outreach to sow that into the people of the city.
Okay.
You literally just created the symbol of the rebellion. That's about to happen.
Nice.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty sick. Yeah. Easy enough.
It's actually just the jackalope from that one Pixar short.
The jumping one?
Yeah. Bound.
Okay. Your last few days.
Can I have a quick panic attack outside of the room real quick before we hit Gordanski?
If you'd like to.
I'm so excited. I want to be in there. I want to be mistreated.
Eyes has a degradation key.
Stop!
Okay.
She's like,
Oh boy. It's time.
Before I begin any descriptions, I'm gonna put a picture up. I couldn't find any animation, but this is the closest thing I could find. So I'm just gonna put it up, and I'll go full screen with it.
Ooh.
And I have to.
Can you zoom?
Racism City.
Let's go, Racism City! Is that the American flag in the corner?
I swore I could get rid.
shop.
Oh, it's pretty
Ohio.
close though.
Yeah.
Ohio, down in Ohio.
Stop. Get your laughs out now.
Gordanski is the godless place.
Take me down to the Racism City.
Do you know Ohio is actually where Elden Ring takes place?
We're the.
I hate you.
But I thought Ohio was a place in Elden Ring.
No. Ohio takes place. Or wait.
Ohio City is actually that place in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Caelid is Ohio City.
Okay.
Down in Ohio.
It is midday. Walking down these cobblestone steps, the dozens of miles that you have traveled, the dozens of villages, cities that you have passed on your way through, you finally see on the horizon the capital, Gordanski. You see that the city itself is a mountain. Known as the Parhurst Steps, Gordanski is built almost on a pyramid of the most grand of scales. There are a total of 5 levels, tiers of the city. You see, you are still very far away and you can't get a good glimpse, but they're almost like a staircase leading upwards in a pyramid shape, a staircase built for titans, far beyond the size of any creature you have ever seen. But before you get to Gordanski itself, you pass through their outer cities. The region known as Entril. Walking into the city, you see signage.
As in entrails.
You see signage pointing you in the direction of Gordanski. Now, this city, very much like the one you see behind me, is sprawling. This is a titan of industry, and you're not even inside Gordanski yet. This is just an outer city. This outer city is called Hugin. And as you step forward into Hugin, you are immediately approached by a figure. You see a slender man wearing... No. You see a slender figure wearing luxurious purple and yellow robes.
He's the Joker.
No. Gosh, dang it, guys.
We're on one tonight.
You see he has a... How do I put this? A annoyingly beautiful face. He appears to come from immense wealth. You see his hands are clasped out in front of him. He has no guards or anything escorting him. You see he's got a finely trimmed black, kind of very tight beard to his face, some stubble. You see he has a very pronounced nose, cheekbones, and very, very piercing blue eyes. And these eyes are actually both different colors. One is a lighter blue, one is a bright, dark blue. This man approaches, and he just goes, "Hello, my friends. I've been waiting for you for some time. Of course, you are marked by Tyr himself, and word travels very fast. Welcome to the capital city. Well, we are not even there yet. I have been instructed by the king to take you to him. He wishes to meet with his new advisors."
Insight check. That is.
I don't know why I wouldn't. I might as well roll. That's not good though.
Is unnatural 20.
Okay. I mean,
Wow. That's
I mean, he's shady as heck, but he's very difficult to read. He goes, "No bother introducing yourselves. I know each of your names and titles. I've done my research. The king has not, but that is my job. A few things. I will not beat around the bush. You are all outsiders to this city, and some of you know who you are, will be spat on and ridiculed. I do not need to tell you this. You have already experienced it, I am sure. I want to apologize to begin with. I do not view all of you the same way that the king insists. Now, of course, if I brought it up with him, he would be quite angry, but I do not care. Do you have any questions for me? I am instructed to guide you through the city, answer any questions you may have, and then eventually, no matter how long it takes, bring you to the king.
Why is your face so annoyingly pretty?
The women tell me that all the time. I would say that the gods above, make sure you just say God here, for there is only one. The gods above have blessed me and my family.
Forgive me for being skeptical, as we have not really been received with the warmest welcome here.
Yes.
Do you have any, documentation to show us that? It just kind of, feels like, we could be being led into a trap. Not to accuse you of anything, it's just, we're on our guard.
No, I completely understand. I could show you my family's crest.
Show it to, I think.
I understand that you grew up in these parts. You should recognize it. He pulls out a family crest, a small bit of cloth tucked into his robes. You see on it a scorpion with its tail flared upwards. Behind it is a large shield. This is of House Falren.
Oh, that's what I thought.
He goes, my name is Schult Falren. I'm sure many of you do not recognize me, and that is okay. I do not care if you have heard my name or not. Do you recognize this crest?
No.
Now, do you need any provisions before we go? I'm sure that you have been on a long journey. If you are in need of rest, food, I would be happy to help.
We would hate to keep the king waiting.
Oh, he can wait all he wants.
Do you not get in trouble for this kind of talk about him?
I am in the position where people hearing these words out of my mouth, especially around trusted individuals such as yourself, it does not reach the ears of the king. And trust me, I have had my fair share of arguments with him and his stupendous son, or stupid son, however you put it. Money pays in this city, and fortunately for me and fortunately for you, I have the coin to pay it. If anyone insults you or looks at you strange, please let me know. I will have it dealt with. That includes Gordanski guards. They are not above the power of coin.
Very well. Well, this is certainly not what we expected, but I suppose we should have, considering we are marked.
You have done a good deal to keep it secret, and I admire and respect that. It is exactly what I would do in your position. Those markings are precious to some. Some see it an honor to collect such markings. They would not take the rest of you with them. Gordanski has many enemies, but fortunately for Gordanski, these enemies usually get squashed quite quickly. But many lie in the shadows, and I am here to make sure that you do not come across any. Yes?
And your name was again your first name?
Schuld.
Schuld?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, Schuld. I'm Gwyneth.
I know. It is great to meet you too, Gwyneth. Finally put a beautiful face to the beautiful name.
Thank you.
Do you have a title? What shall we call you?
Titles. I understand it is sort of code to go by them. And many people call me by mine, but to be honest, it aches my ears. So please just call me Schuld.
Very well.
Now, which would you like me to show you first? We can go through these outlying cities or head straight for the capital itself.
I suppose.
Right.
1 minute, my cat is eating through the door.
Yummy.
Though,
Hello,
He wants to break free from Stinker Joe.
I want to
Stop. That's very copyright.
Take me down to
Not as long as we don't sing like 30 seconds of
The
it.
dragons are green and the guards are shitty.
No. Okay. Calm this down. We don't have much time tonight. I want to be able to actually show you Gordanski because you have not seen it yet.
Do I know where Bepin or Everett are?
You know where Bepin's old house was. He probably still lives there. As for Bepin, you're not sure. You just know he's somewhere in Gordanski.
Or you mean Everett?
Or yes, sorry.
Is he in one of the outlying cities?
He could be. You were just told that he was in Gordanski.
Oh no, I mean Bepin.
Oh no, he's within the walls of Gordanski.
Okay,
He's on the very lowest step, but yes.
So the one that we're in now?
No, you have not even stepped onto the steps yet.
Oh, okay.
We're in Cuban.
Will we be able
Let me show you.
Okay.
map time?
Time to sketch a map.
We get a map time. I've already seen because I looked over Connor's shoulder while he made it.
Whoa.
You are in the city right here.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's a big ass city. What kind of square footage is that, baby?
A lot. Too much, maybe.
All in all, it's about 25 miles wide.
Take me up.
Has a
to the
population
races.
of roughly.
Races.
It's a population of roughly 3 million people.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So let me figure out how much that is equivalent to.
He goes, "Where shall we be off to first?"
I suppose the king, so long as we are able to still tour the city afterwards.
Oh, of course. Don't worry, he does not wish to kill you. If he wished that, you would already be dead.
I was not implying that.
Now,
Simply, if we have duties, we must attend to.
this was not my decision. Now, I am on his council, like most of my family is. I am just the one here that is to do it in person. But he has decided to put you to the test because he is a fun king like that. He's elected you to be on his council. Now, what does this mean? It means you will have to advise him. Now, let me be quite honest with you. This will be an opportunity for him to test you. Test every aspect of your characters. He will ask you various pointed questions, and it will be your choice on how you answer them. But I advise you answer them carefully.
Kiss ass.
No, don't do that. He hates that. But you will address him as my king. You will not insult him in any way. And if he raises you a question, you must answer it and be honest. He knows.
Very well.
What if he
Has he given a
disagrees?
reason for testing us?
The public reason is that you are marked, which means you are of great value and of the highest of trusted individuals inside these grounds. And so, of course, that deserves you a spot on his council, a spot which many people aspire towards. The main reason is he wishes to see what your true intentions are.
Is there a bathroom nearby?
Yes, just right over there.
Can I go into the bathroom, twiddle my thumbs for a second, and then pop a potion of mind reading, and then come back out?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were actually gonna go and use the bathroom.
I do
last
actually
time.
go to the bathroom, so.
You follow.
I was gonna say that follows, I guess.
Okay.
That follows.
Done, done.
Just to get a read on him, I'm looking for sort of attitudes as, like, I don't want to push deep because I don't want to know that I'm doing stuff, but I want to feel out attitudes of the things he says.
Make sure Bo doesn't get into my food on the ground.
For example, like him saying that the king is an idiot. Is he saying it because he is actually on the king's side and testing us to see how we feel about the king? Or if he legitimately just doesn't like the king? Just kind of stuff like that for the next hour as we ask questions. I want to get a read on how he really feels about the things that he's saying.
I am going to tell you this right now. Every single thing he has told you and will continue to tell you through this walk, and if there's any question that you ask that may differ on this, I will bring it up to you. Okay. But it is true thus far. It is exactly how he feels.
I'm worried some of us aren't trained in diplomacy, but we can try our best to meet the king's standards.
I'm sure you will. Now, take it from me. He will be more aggressive, if not outwardly, internally. He will be trying to find any flaw within all of you. Just be careful.
Thank
Yes. Okay, where shall we start?
Oh, another question. If he asks us questions like, what do you think about, like, the horrible murders and things that, or the killings that you've seen the guards do, or our occupation of your homelands, you want us to answer that honestly?
Let me ask you a question. Are you a good liar?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Not good enough. Unless you are fully confident in your abilities as a deceiver, do not lie to him. Even if it goes against everything Gordanski preaches, he will not kill you for this.
Really?
He respects honesty in his face and will punish it less harshly than deceit.
He wants to know exactly what he's dealing with. I
Yes.
understand that.
And he...
Perhaps have a chance to freshen up, bathe, prepare ourselves before we...
Of course. There is a brothel nearby, and it will provide all the services you need. It is a fine establishment, and the owner is respectable.
Very well.
I trust them.
Will you guide us or something?
Absolutely. Now, as you are walking, this brothel is one of the oldest establishments within the city. Now, they have several locations, though this one is the original. It is owned by a very, very wealthy family. This current one and the head owner of all of them is Mrs. Lawrence Abnin. Memorize that? Lawrence Abnin. Do not mess it up. All right? Now, do not worry. I'm sure when you hear brothel, you are immediately brought with many atrocities and awful behaviors and practices. I can give you my word on this, that this establishment is very respectable.
Lawrence Abdeen? Aline? I just can't remember the last part. Can you help me?
Abdeen.
Abdeen.
Good. Please memorize it.
And it was Lawrence, not Florence, right?
Lawrence, yes.
Lawrence Abdeen.
You refer to her as Miss Lawrence. She runs a tight ship. All of her men, women, and everything else, they are the most paid of their profession, all right? They are very wealthy individuals, and they serve very wealthy individuals. I will arrange for you to have a private bath section. It will be divided, so if each of you wish to have private baths, then that will be more than doable. There is also food there. It will be free of charge, of course. What are the perks of being a king's counselors? That is about all you need to know. He continues walking and talking a bit.
I have another question.
Yes.
When you said that you were put in charge of, making sure we don't run into any shadows or anything like that.
Yes.
Are you going to accomplish that by having people follow us the entire time we are in the city?
Well, I trust your combative abilities. Also, please open carry any weapons you have. No one will object to this. Even in the presence of the king, he is very well protected and unafraid. Often to a... Anyway.
Is he, again, kind of...
You will not be followed unless you want us to follow you.
No,
we are not afraid of your physical health. We are mostly afraid that you will say something that should not be said. Does that make sense? But as long as we can maintain a respectable business about us, I do not think we should worry.
So there's no guards here that are gonna try and stretch me?
The king has already issued a statement about your arrival.
Okay, so everyone knows.
If any guard does behave aggressively towards any of you, it will be an act of treason and they themselves will be stretched.
This is wonderful information.
So, just to be clear, the public will know about our condition, kind of like tapping her hand.
Yes, they're well aware. Approaching the brothel, beautiful building on the exterior, golden columns of pure granite interlaced with gold leaf. It is 3 stories tall, beautiful stained glass window letting light in. And as you kind of step inside, you smell vanilla and incense. You see a woman in her, let's say, mid to late 40s. She's a half dwarf, half human. She kind of beautiful, wearing a luxurious kind of satin black dress, long black curly hair. You see she's got those broad dwarven shoulders and large, powerful legs. She kind of steps over. She goes, Shod, it is good to see you again. How long has it been? Shod goes, I'm afraid far too long. I've missed your company dearly. Our lunches are truly something that I dearly miss. She goes, and your friends. Oh, wow. Very gorgeous, all of you.
Sorry to continue to annoy with my potion of mind reading. Were they used to did they used to romantically be involved?
No.
Or just legitimately just chill and have lunch together?
They're legitimately just friends. You read both of their minds and there is no history of any kind of romantic involvement. They are just friends, genuinely. You see many men and women kind of walking around wearing more sheer type clothing. A lot of very, very noble men and women kind of going in and out of various different rooms. You also see like the steam kind of looming in the air from a large bathhouse in the back. She kind of goes, so you must all be the marked ones that we have heard so much about.
Yes, we are.
She goes and kisses each and every one of your hands. It is an honor.
When someone did it.
It's true. It is an honor to meet all of you.
Miss Lawrence, I presume?
Yes. It seems Shold here has briefed you on how to treat me. He treats me with too much obnoxious respect sometimes. Please just call me Lawrence. Very few people do, and to be honest, it's quite refreshing to hear. Anything you may need will be taken care of swiftly inside this establishment. Food, clothes, board. Anything else?
Is there a bath that I could use?
Absolutely. I already have our finest baths reserved for each of you.
Thank you.
If you would follow me. Shold kind of... I do not mean to stay at this brothel for too long. I will be waiting outside for you.
Okay.
Please take as much time as you need. And he steps out onto the street. Lawrence kind of follows you, or escorts you. She kind of, so, marked by tear. That is something very few people get to experience. What's it like?
It's
overwhelming.
Oh, I'm very sure. I wouldn't say I would want the same, but it's interesting to have you in my presence.
Quite the mantle.
Are you familiar with Shold?
We know.
Or did you just meet?
Well, we've
Couple things.
just met him. I and my friend Atticus here have been well aware of his family for some time. Few aren't, but if you wish to divulge what you know, we would be happy to listen.
What to tell about Mr. Shold Falarin? Well, first of all, he has the deepest pockets here in this city, but I'm sure you already got the gist of that just by how he carries himself.
He told us. more or less.
Oh, of course he told you. He is an intelligent man. He comes from great wealth, but do not be fooled. He has had his fair share of hardship. Not nearly as much as some of you, but this is at least something that should be kept in mind when dealing with him, at least. He's an honest man. I've never known him to tell a lie, not ever, even if it is unflattering to hear. But still keep an eye or ear out. His truths are often... they pack a punch sometimes.
Well, when your pockets are that deep, you can afford to be that honest.
That is for sure. Now, if you require any of our main services here, I hope you know that there are rules. Even those of you must pay and in full, and leave a generous tip, all right? The men and women working in this establishment, they work very hard, and they deserve all the tips that they can get. What else? Have any of you ever been to an establishment like this?
We've been to a bathhouse a long time ago.
Not like this.
Well, this is luxury. But I have you know that all those working in here, they are treated well. I see to it myself. I grew up working at places far worse off than this. So I ask you to treat everyone with respect and kindness, no matter what. I don't care who you are. If you mistreat any of my men or women, I will have you kicked out of this city.
Of course.
As long as we can abide by that, we will be good friends. All right? If you have any questions, please flag someone down. They will come find me, or you can see me out front. Please take as much time as you need. And like he said, he'll be out front. And she departs. You take your time at this luxurious bathhouse. The water is at a perfect temperature.
71 degrees.
69 a perfect temperature of ranging degrees of heat. There are also like cold plunge baths. All of the water is perfectly clean. All of the people, like the people that are working here and offering their services, they all look very well fed, very healthy. That you see no markings or any of the such, and they are tipped very handsomely. You see many a lord and lady come in here, and you see them hand a handful of platinum before departing. This is a place of status, and it shows.
And we can assume that they really enjoy these gems.
Yes. And I mean, if you wish to speak with any of them, please feel free. Are you doing anything else besides freshening up while here?
I'd ask for a place where I could clean my clothes. I'd go up to one of the workers you guys.
Is there anywhere I can get my clothes clean?
This one man kind of approaches. Yes, absolutely. Follow me. He kind of grabs your arm and kind of very respectfully kind of escorts you. And he goes, so where are you from, miss?
I'm from Hastridge.
Oh, Hastridge. May I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
Were you a citizen of Hastridge before what it has turned into?
Yeah.
Was it beautiful?
I haven't been there in a long time, but yeah.
My sister, a couple years ago, brought me apricots from there. They were delicious. I've always wanted to go back and see if I could get more.
I don't have any of the apricots with me.
Oh, no. That is not what I was asking.
I have a little something, though, if you'd like to try it from Hastridge.
Sure.
I hand him. I know it's not much. It's all I have left of my berry wine. But we would make berry mead while we were there, and I found this not too long ago in my travels. And there's like a little left if you'd like to try some later.
Oh, how about we will try it together? I'll bring you there. We will have a drink together.
Hell yeah.
He kind of escorts you very politely. You share a drink. He loves it. He thanks you dearly before departing.
Wait, how much is tip standard here?
Oh, this was not one of our services. This was just part of the job. We make money off return customers. So if they feel welcome and respected, then they're more likely to come back and thus more tip. If you ever find yourself here or any of your friends, you'll know where to find me.
All right, thank you.
He leaves.
I will have my hair rebraided.
Okay. A man and a woman kind of help braid your hair, and
My sexual dream.
everyone here is very honest. It's almost like inside these walls, the language that people have to abide by kind of gets stripped away, and people feel a little bit more comfortable.
They wokified the broth.
There's a certain level of immunity. And they're able to kind of talk about things like
Yes.
how they feel about the city. And
Yes. And if anyone asks any of them anything regarding that, they at least seem to answer very bluntly and honestly.
And we can trust that they're not going to go anywhere else with our information.
I mean, if you wanted to ask them about it, you're more than welcome to.
I would go back up to that guy that I spoke to originally, and I'd be like, You said your sister was in Hastridge a couple years ago, no?
Oh, pardon my phrasing. By a couple, I meant more than a couple. It was quite several. Around about 6 or 7.
Okay. You asked if it was beautiful back when I was there, but is it not beautiful anymore?
Unfortunately, those lands have been mostly deforested, used for lumber and training grounds for the military forces. But some parts still survive for now.
How long ago did that start?
Their deforesting efforts started maybe a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. I would have been long gone at that point, but yeah. Thank you for thank you for telling me. And just a question. What do you think of gnomes in general?
Like
It brings me
No.
It brings me with great sadness, knowing how you phrased that question, expecting a sort of answer. My personal opinion is that all the Gordanski preaching is a little unjust for the god of justice, wouldn't you say?
I can't
if I were to
quite
be-
comment on tier, but I do not like how I've seen some individuals treat people like me, yes.
No. Well, this place, this outward appearance, it appears as such. We have an underground here, a basement, sub-level, or at least that's what we call it.
I thought you meant like a criminal organization. I was like, oh goodness.
Oh, it's illegal in Gordanski's law.
Okay.
We provide safe haven for people like yourself.
Is there any way I could contribute to funding this
We have
organization?
plenty of money, but listen, you may speak freely inside these premises. There are 2 other locations here. You may do the same there. Just be careful about it.
Okay.
And of course, I say that after you approaching me, but just be careful.
Appreciate it. What was your name?
I go by many names. Which one sounds most interesting to you? Theon?
Theon.
Kroon? Shindru?
Thindru.
Shindru
I'll
it
have a
is.
hard time saying it, but I'll remember it better.
I take great pleasure in telling people different names. It's entertaining to see which ones remember them and which ones do not. We'll see which one you are.
Cinder. All right.
Clint pulls out a notebook and writes it.
And he goes, and if you're lucky enough, someday I may tell you my real name.
I'd love to learn it.
I'd love to tell it. Only if we're close. And he goes away.
Seeing the safe haven that this this building seems to be, it's a long shot, but I think Ursa starts looking. They probably would be disguised anyway. I think she starts looking for any Genasi in the building.
Make a perception check.
Yeah. Pretty good. 19.
19. Looking out, you really don't see anything except for human and dwarf and in between. You all
pretty silent, just listening.
You all wash up, exchange various conversations, very friendly conversations, all of them. It is a glimpse of respect and smiles that you were not expecting to see. It's also a little off-putting, especially the truth of everything. You guys have grown to be very skeptical, but you're optimistic, at least somewhat. You all wash up. Are you going back out?
So you all probably gets a little hair trim just to touch things up, and then smears some charcoal over her eyes.
Put up the face covering and pull down the sleeves and go into the city.
I will change into a different dress.
Okay. Stepping back out onto the busy streets, the smell is vastly different than those on the inside of this brothel.
Piss.
Yeah. Shold is out front. He's kind of leaning up against one of the pillars, kind of looking over. You have rolled it faster than I thought you may have been, but I respect it. You're on business. Shall we?
We shall.
Okay. He begins escorting you through the miles long of this city until finally reaching Gordanski itself, the towering mountain city, the militant capital of the world. As you walk up the steps, Gordanski isn't just a city. It's a nation, which I'm sure you're aware, with millions of people. But Gordanski isn't just any nation state. Gordanski is a powerhouse, the wealthiest and the single most influential state in all of Ezerun. Gordanski has fought tooth and nail for the past 1,000 years, conquering, enslaving, and taking every last inch of land and sea, spanning hundreds of miles in every direction. Their army and military might is second to none, and their god, Tyr, god of war and justice, has led them every step of the way. Their ruler, or as they call him, Karharug, the dwarvish word for he who ascends, goes by the name Hatumir Ledbrand, a fierce and tyrannical dwarf who's been in power for 80 years. You've all walked the hundreds of miles leading to the main city. You've seen the control Gordanski has over every aspect of people's lives. You've seen the guards in their armors of magnificent make and their swords like razors of dwarvish steel. But nothing could have prepared you for what you see now. The city of Gordanski is etched into the stone of a towering and mountainous pedestal. What once may have been a peaked mountain is now a series of massive steps and plateaus of stone. Steps so large that even the titans of old would have difficulty climbing them. Steps so tall, clouds wisp by them. Thousands of buildings and infrastructure wind their way up each and every step. Smokestacks of heavy pollution mix and swirl in the sky above, forming a dark and monstrous whirlpool looming down over the entire city. You begin your ascent through the miles of crowded streets, people all around you shouting, screaming, even for every passerby to enter their shop or buy their goods or offer them money. You see at the center of a square is a large stretching rack. The smell of fresh blood and the sight of freshly torn limbs being shoveled and tossed into a wheelbarrow by the guards. The thick layers of old, dried blood cake the rack and the cobblestone around it. Townsfolk chatter and gossip like this is just an everyday occurrence. One of the guards explained, "It took that porter 2 days before the tendon severed. Impressive. This is not the first time you will see this brutality. In fact, this is common. Whether it be stretchings or guards pummeling people in the streets, your pace stays firm and your eyes straight ahead of you as you climb this behemoth of a city. The buildings tower all around you, bridges high above the streets sprawl like pathways in a second city. The smell of tobacco and sweat is ever present. Acres of sprawling courtyards, parks, pavilions, and everywhere guards routinely march through the streets, brandishing their superior weaponry. You walk and you walk. The tension and weight of this place weighs heavier and heavier the higher you climb. The buildings funnel you like ants until you finally reach the highest step. Massive fortified walls made from bricks of granite the size of houses. This silver fortified wall stands 300 feet. A massive and regal door opens before you. You glimpse at the highest step of Gordanski, buildings so magnificent and powerful they rival any you've ever seen. Massive reinforced plating of dwarvish steel cover the buildings like feathers on a bird. Dragons covered in scar tissue are bound by chains, fly up above and perch on rooftops. Their heavily armored guards sit atop them on beautifully forged saddles. Wealthy and pompous commoners wearing the riches stolen from the steppes below strut through the giant and wonderfully cultivated gardens and courtyards. Gargantuan forges spewing molten metals churn out dozens of sets of armor a minute, and weapons every second, every day. Gordanski is the engine that never stops churning, never stops training, never stops conquering. Gordanski is a monster in metal form. Its blood pulses with the oppression of its subjects and the ego of those lucky enough to be born with money. How could you, just some prodigal fools, ever hope to overthrow a place so brutal, so powerful? A place where even red dragons are forced to bow their heads. The awe-inspiring sights certainly live up to everything you've heard. But all those fears you've had before coming here have been confirmed. All the racist glances, the brutal law enforcement, and the pure dominating force is terrifying. Though very well might be a chance to get out of here alive, but no matter what, this city is going to be the hardest challenge our prodigal fools will ever face. Welcome to Gordanski. And that is where we will end the session and pick up from there.
What an ending, though. That's perfect.
Oh my god.
Now go to bed.
All right.
Bedtime.
Thank you.